Welcome to Coach Hayes Football Live. He can talk about anything from high school to the pros. This guy knows the game, so you better not be half-stepping.
I can guarantee you most of the audience is going to agree with me before they agree with you.
Strap in, because Coach Hayes is about to
crack your cranium and fertilize your brain. Go ahead and right here, right now.
Subscribe now and check out CoachHayesFootball.com.
Well, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Coach Hayes Football on the Coach Be Coach podcast. This is Prime Time Talk. Let's get this thing rocking and rolling. We ain't got a lot of time, but we're going to make it happen. We're going to have a lot of fun with it as well. I was off last week, had to take care of some things, but I'm back for the jump off. And as I've been off, I've been sitting here watching. Matter of fact, let me know everything looks good, sounds good in the chat so we can get rocking and rolling. There go come on, man. I don't even know why I ask anymore. Try the LMV in the building. The producer. What happened? Wait a minute, LMV. What happened to MVP? Huh? We got to have a talk. You must be trying to fight for a raise or something. I don't know what's going on here. But anyway, not much love to you, baby. But while I was off, of course, they had rookie mini camp and a lot's been going on. And as I kind of on the thumbnail, it says, Shedeur, so Shedeur versus Dillon, praise and strays. And that is something that I've been noticing. There's a lot of praise going on and some people catching a lot of strays, boy. They catching strays out here. Shout out to Shedeur Sanders, been catching a lot of praise, and Dillon Gabriel has been catching a lot of strays. And that's what's hilarious. I already got a call in the building. I didn't even put a number up, man. 8531. Give me 1 second. We'll definitely get into it. Give me 1 second as I finish my monologue here. But anyhow, long story short, let me pull this poll up. I also got a poll out here. Who starts first, Shedeur Sanders or Dillon Gabriel? Right now it's 82% Shedeur, 18% Dillon. But anyhow, Dillon Gabriel, he didn't even call some strays from a reporter. Reporter told him, I'm taller than him. I'm taller than him. We all know the dude's short. I mean, what is he, 5'10", whatever the case may be? And it is what it is. But here's what I'll say, man. He was a third-round draft pick. He played, led his team to some big wins. Didn't win the Natty, but he's got a lot of experience. Played at UCF, played at Oklahoma, and then played at Oregon. Shedeur Sanders, of course, played at Jackson State and has played at Colorado. It's been a lot of talk about Shedeur Sanders falling in the draft, going from number 1 to the 5th round pick, 144, and all of that kind of stuff. And hey, I've always said this about the NFL. I don't think it was fair. I thought he was a higher draft pick than the 5th round by all means. But I've always said this about the NFL. It is an unknown science. It really is. I know a lot of things are hyper-focused on Shedeur right now, but there are a lot of players who were major contributors to their colleges. They're the reason their colleges won, all of that good stuff, and didn't get drafted, went undrafted free agent for whatever reason it is, right? I could bring up, and I know the people, Miami, but I could bring up my man Xavier Restrepo. Bro, you break records at the University of Miami. Just think about this. He breaks records at the University of Miami, right? With all of those great receivers, he breaks their records, doesn't get drafted. That's what it is, I guess, right? But he got an opportunity at the Titans with Cam Ward. Now, Shedeur Sanders, he broke 100 records, according to some reports, right? And he drops in the draft. And I'm saying that to say it's no exact science. Now, some people could say it's hating. I think it's a portion. I think he's a victim of a combination of all of those things, right? I have to be honest. I think a lot of things created that situation in essence. And we'll get into it real quick. Susie Pink, before I go into the member. Susie Pink, man, y'all clap it up for Susie Pink in the building, man. Been a member in this joint for 18 months, baby. Who's that number 1 draft pick out there, Cam Ward? Was it Shedeur? No. Was it Gabriel? No. Was it Travis? No. Was it Genty? No. Go Cam Ward. It's your birthday. Shout out to Susie Pink in the building. And y'all clap it up again for Susie Pink. She was in here killing folks when it came to our we do a fantasy draft for college. And Susie Pink was out here killing that thing. At one time, Susie Pink, we had 3 different leagues going. And that doggone Susie Pink and whatever algorithm and computer wizardry she got going on back there almost could have won all 3 of those. All 3 of those. Man, let me tell you something, Susie. That would have been a big check coming out of coach. Boy, I'd have had an issue. But anyway, shout out to you, man. Much love to you, Susie Pink. Appreciate it. But anyway, like I said, that's what it is. I'm going to open up this line here. I already got a caller on the line. I'm not sure who it is. Let me see if I can pop this number up. Come on, Hayes. Got to tighten up on your stuff, man. What you got going on, bro? 862-799-9956. Go ahead and pop it in. If the lines get too busy, of course, I'll put the timer on it. So we kind of give everybody a fair shake at this deal as it backs up in the traffic lanes. But, shout out real quick to Daniel Berry, Sports Highlights. Yo, appreciate you. Mr. Mad Skill, member in the building. OG Kane, what's up with you? Cuban Kane, American here. Huh? Let's see here. Motivated, dedicated. What up, OG? What's happening with you, man? Hey, well, I hope you got your ducats, man. Did you ever get your ducats? You know what I'm talking about, motivated. Shedeur gets traded. Yowzers. That's tough, man. We could talk about that. I mean, that room got some people in it. Everybody right now is talking about he's QB1 off a 3-day mini camp. I told y'all, I'm not in the business of trying to convince people or say, hey, slow down your horses, man. Full steam ahead, bro. I'm done with that. I can't do it. I can't try to convince people to just say, hey, man, let the young man play. And speaking of that, I was in here doing some work and had YouTube playing. The algorithm puts me onto TLP Sports Club, if I'm not mistaken. The host is named Harry. And he was talking, and he made a very valid point. He was bringing up something about the hype. And I think he kind of put a nice bow around what I've always kind of talked about. And he was saying sometimes, and I'm kind of paraphrasing this here, but sometimes other people's action can affect your perception. And I was like, damn, that's an interesting way of putting it. He said, think about this. Shedeur, as I've always said, the Shedeur and Dion, a lot of them haven't done or said a lot of the things that I call them cult members. They call me Coach Hates. But they haven't done those things. The fans have created a lot of narratives. And that carries over to some decision makers like owners, GMs, so forth and so on. And I had never really thought how to put it that way, but I thought he articulated that extremely well. And he brought it up to say, kind of like when people have a certain perception about you, but if you take a moment to sit down and talk to them, you're like, that's a pretty cool dude. And I kind of put myself in that category, right? Like, I'm X, fill in X, right? In the algebra equation. Y'all call me Coach Hates because of perception, or y'all heard somebody else say, or whatever. But if you actually get on here and have a conversation, you'd be like, dang. Because nobody has still never answered the one question I've been asking forever. Oh, Coach Hayes, you a hater. Okay. But name one thing that I've said tonight or any other night that makes me a hater. And speaking of that, I go to my shirt. For example, right there, you see Patricia and Cheryl C. Right? I keep receipts on my shirt. What does it say? Look at the body language. He's a hater. A body language? Huh? Shout out to Chrissy. I ain't seen him in a while. You come off as a hater because on every CU live chat, you have something negative to say about Prime. But when you have Miami live chat, you are all praises with no defensive attitude. Come on, if y'all watch the Miami shows, that's furthest from the truth. And I wore this shirt because shout out to Harry from TLP Sports Club. I think I said it correctly. This is a perfect example of perception versus reality. And I'm bringing this parallel to say the same thing. A lot of the stuff that Shedeur is facing is potentially because of narratives that have been placed. I'm not saying he doesn't have anything to do with it or does or doesn't. I'm not saying that. But he's polarizing. The Sanders family is polarizing, right? And that's where things get a little shaky. I saw a short, and I don't know who the gentleman was. He was talking, actually, I want to say it was to Pac-Man Jones. I wish I didn't save it, but I wish I would have saved it. And this gentleman was talking about drafting Aaron Rodgers versus Alex Smith. And this, I don't know if he was the GM. I don't know if he was the head coach. I couldn't tell who he was. But he said it was about the personality. He said it was about the personality. And he said, Aaron Rodgers, check this out. Like, these are the stories that don't get put out in the media. Now, if it's Shedeur, of course, they definitely gonna put it out. But we're just talking about how a lot of these things happen. Like when you see these untold stories or 30 for 30s, and you kind of get these backstories and be like, oh, damn. He said Aaron Rodgers, they went out to dinner with Aaron Rodgers and the agent. At the end of dinner, Aaron Rodgers gets up, calls the head coach by the first name and slaps him on the butt. Bro, you're a draft pick. You ain't Aaron Rodgers today. You Aaron Rodgers trying to get on the team. And you like, all right, Dion, slap him on the butt and go. And you trying to get a job, bro? And that really threw that team off. Now, in hindsight, 2020, would they have liked to pick Aaron Rodgers over Alex Smith? Probably so. But in life, you can't connect the dots going forward. You can only connect the dots going backwards. How many of y'all see? Because a lot of people could say, oh, Aaron, yeah, you know what he did. But imagine going forward. Imagine if you were a boss of a company hiring somebody. Y'all go out to dinner, you know, trying to get to know one another, feel each other out, and the dude get up. All right, Dion, and slap you. Bro. What? So I say all that to say, it's not always about what you do, right? On the football field. Sometimes it's who you are. And I'm saying that about Shedeur is I think he's catching a lot of praise from the fans, but that praise becomes strays. You flip it, Dillon Gabriel is catching all strays because everybody's praising Shedeur. This guy is crazy. We talk about as the football turns, like this is a straight soap opera. Because, like, this is a straight soap opera. I'm just here watching, dog. I don't have no interpretation. Shout out to Chef Jerome in the building for the $9.99. Thank you, brother. Coach Hayes, you do be hating from time to time, especially when the chef starts cooking. You laugh out loud. Hashtag motivated. Sound like some shots fired right there. Shout out to the chef in the building. But appreciate the $9.99, brother. So, chef, I ask you the question. Tell me what I've said tonight or any other night that makes me a hater. I don't think you can answer that, bro. I don't think you can really answer that. That makes me a hater. Shout out to Nope. He said that was the GM. Thank you. Thank you. No, that's what I thought it was. I thought it was the GM. He had a nasty nose here. I thought it was a booger. But yeah, I'm just saying, man, I'm saying all these stories to tell you that it's not a perfect formula for why guys get drafted and guys don't get drafted. Right? Let's go to Colorado. I forgot the gentleman's name. He got an undrafted free agency opportunity. Wasn't even a starter. And block bully. Nothing. Right? That's just how it works. Because a lot of it is potential. I'll go shout out to a young man named Shamar Stewart. Right? How many of y'all would draft a starting defensive lineman, started for 3 years straight, and had 4.5 sacks in his 3-year career? 4.5 sacks in a 3-year career. Not 4.5 sacks this year. Not 4.5 sacks. No, 4.5 sacks total in 3 years. But why? His wingspan is longer than LeBron. He's 6'6". He 290. He ran a 4. A lot of it is potential too. These are the things we're talking about. You understand? These are the things we're talking about. I don't know who the caller was, but they left out. 862-799-9956. You're more than welcome to call in. Shout out to G&J in the building. DC Carson Music. Hey, DC Carson, boy. I was watching some show, boy. They was tearing you up, calling you all type of haters. I forgot what show that was, man. I was watching. Cuban Kane. He said, you hate me every day. Now that's a fact. Now that's a fact. And I'm a hater for Cuban Kane. Just talking trash, man. All right, 8531 on the line right now, calling in. Give me 1 second, and we will make this happen. BP, how many teams would realistically draft a defensive lineman in the top of the draft if the fix wasn't in? I don't know what you mean, BP. How many teams would realistically draft a defensive lineman in the top of the draft if the fix wasn't? I'm not understanding what you. Maybe you're answering somebody else. I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding. All right, let's take this first call, man. Let's see what's going on. I'll just say this as well. I got to look on my phone. It's dead in my pocket. Can I say this? I'll just say this. This is straight like the craziest thing I saw. Somebody sent this to me when my phone charged up. I'm going to read it off. Somebody said, like, this is where y'all got to stop, bro. Like, this stuff be out of control. Shedeur Sanders is the first quarterback to ever throw for 400 plus yards, 5 touchdowns, and something else in rookie minicamp. I'm like, what? Like y'all gotta stop, bro. Like, y'all gotta stop, dog. Bro, the stuff y'all dig up is crazy. Did y'all also know that Shedeur was the first quarterback to put on both his socks and wait exactly 2 minutes before he put on his shoes? What are y'all like? Y'all gotta, like, come on, man. This stuff is y'all. Those type of things we talk about narratives, and I know. Shout out to the chef. Y'all talking about, but it's our fan. We want to cheer for. I get it. I understand, dog. but some of this stuff, bro, you're gone too far, bro. Like, I'll just say this, and 8531, I'm coming, I promise you. I put on Twitter, I was just being funny, because it's funny how people, you can turn anything to anything. Let me just see if I can pull this up right quick. Xavier Restrepo, here it is, perfect. And LMV, you in here. LMV, you're in here. I'm going to put this up right quick. And I did is actually being funny. Really being funny. So you know how people were like, he's got to wear number 12. So 12 times 12 is 144. And yeah, I'm like, God dang, bro. How do y'all have time in your life to kind of come up with these things? So there was a clip of Xavier Restrepo, and he wears number 87. Right? So I put in there being funny, because this is something that cult members will do. He was the 8th round, meaning like the undrafted free agent. That would be the 8th round, right? That would be the 8th round. But he still got a 7 for his old jersey number. Make the number special. The number doesn't make you special. Number 87, keep balling. Xavier Restrepo. I was really being funny. Because somebody sent me a clip saying, oh, the reason they gave him number 12 was because he was supposed to be in the 1st round and he still is number 2. That's his old jersey number. So I was actually being funny to that. Like, that's the kind of stuff like we got to stop, y'all. Like, how do y'all come up with this stuff, bro? The reason he wearing 12, I'm talking both. I'm talking both Shedeur, Show Real. I'm not talking about Shedeur as the person. I'm talking about these crazy ass fans, bro. Shedeur hasn't done any of this. This is what I was saying Harry said from TLP. And I did reach out to him because I mentioned on his show, he said he wanted to do some things together. So I reached out to him, emailed him, but he didn't get back to me yet. So one day, hopefully he'll come on the show. We can talk about it. But I was actually being funny because I was saying the same thing. Oh, the reason they gave Restrepo 87 because, the undrafted free agent, like that's the 8th round, and he still kept his old jersey number 7. Whatever, bro. All right, last one before I come to you. $9.99. How do you feel about Cam Ward being number 1 draft pick and getting no attention at all? Cam and Simeon Craig getting more pub than him. What's going on, coach? Motivate. I don't feel any way. So what? Like, it is what it is, bro. Like, I'm not finna sit up here and Twitter somebody to death because Cam Ward didn't get his just due. You know what he did? He just got a big bank account. So he cool. Like, do you think he's sitting here like, I was the number 1 draft pick and everybody's talking about everybody else? Bro, y'all got to stop. How do I feel about it? As they say, I feel no ways tired, bro. Do you really think that I'm going to spend my day tweeting because a kid that played for the University of Miami is not being talked about? Oh, no, I don't feel any way. Like, maybe that's why I'm different, bro. Like, I'm not caught up in this. Like, that's the part that blows me. That y'all spend hours of y'all day caught up in like stuff that it don't even matter to Shedeur. Like, I don't even think it matters to Shedeur. Would he have liked to have number 2? Most definitely. And at some point in his career, I think he'll get number 2. But right now, he's focused on making a team because right now he's a 5th round draft pick. He's not guaranteed a spot. He has to perform, in which he's doing. I think that's what matters to him, not number 2. So that's all I'm saying, man. Y'all too funny. Appreciate the $9.99 again, dog. All right, here we go. Let me get 8531. You've been super patient. 8531, you on the line. Talk to me.
Yo, it's the one from Cleveland.
The one. What's up? Oh, baby. Are you a real Cleveland Brown fan or are you just from Cleveland? Talk to me.
Nah, I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, man, for sure.
Sorry to hear that. But go ahead, my brother. Talk to me. How you feel about this whole thing?
The thing about it is, man, I've been watching Shedeur and all of them, bro. But like, I don't like the way that you talk down on Shedeur when he was the most accurate quarterback in the draft.
All right. So hold on. Let me stop you right there because I appreciate that. What did I say where I talked down on Shedeur? Tell me.
You would be like, oh, Cam Ward got number 1 when Shedeur took Cam Ward under his wing, brought him to his QB coach. I mean, it wasn't like Shedeur was looking for Cam Ward. Cam Ward came under Shedeur and worked with Shedeur with his QB coach.
That's fine, but I didn't talk down on Shedeur. I just said Cam Ward got number 1. Where did I talk down on Shedeur?
Even if he did get all right, so long. There's one more thing. Even though, like, I've known that you're a Miami U fan. My friend, he just hit me to you the other day.
Appreciate it, man.
So I don't understand why Miami U fans love Cam Ward if he didn't even get y'all the playoffs and y'all gave him almost $2 million?
Well, because I think Cam Ward did everything in his power. It's a team game. It's not a solo game. Cam Ward literally
Didn't he quit? Didn't he leave in the middle of the game? Pop-Tart Bowl?
Yeah. He should. Can I tell you this?
He gave his all though, huh?
He shouldn't even play. I'm gonna be honest. It's a business, bro. See, that's where
Why he lace him up then?
Well, because he was supposed to only play a quarter and he played a half. See, here's the crazy thing about it. Remember, I always said about looking at the dots going backwards. Let me ask you a question. Cam Ward is predicted to be the number 1 draft pick. Guaranteed 40.
When though? At the end of the season, he was not predicted. Once the narratives came in, then he was predicted to be the number 1 pick.
He still was supposed to be a number.
I mean,
okay.
Shedeur was
no problem. You
said what?
No problem. Was he projected to be a first round draft pick, like top 5, top 10?
I guess, but even last year, when all the quarterbacks, when the year he was supposed to come out, when Shedeur told him to stay in college because he'd go high in the draft, it's literally facts. You can look it up. Shedeur literally told this man, "Don't go into the draft last year."
That's great.
He was going to be no telling when he would have came up.
Hold on, that's great. Hold on. But I want to walk through this. That's great. Shedeur is a great friend. He gave him great advice. I'm not knocking that. But here's what I'm gonna tell you. Shedeur, let's say Cam Ward plays in that game and snaps his tibia. No, just hear me out. You know what y'all would have said? He's stupid for playing in that
nothing. I ain't that type of guy. No,
I know.
I wouldn't do that.
But the same way you're saying, I can't say what you would or wouldn't say, but what you have said is he quit on the team, right? And if
I saw Travis Hunter and Shedeur play the whole game, and they lost, and they still played.
Sir,
I mean,
and again, that's a preference. But I'm also flipping it up.
They ain't get hurt. Ain't nothing happened. They still alive.
You're 100%. But here's what I'm gonna tell you. You know how many people would imagine that kid lost his opportunity because he breaks a leg, but he still played. But that's fine. Now let's flip it to Shedeur and Travis. Do you know?
But no, hold on. This is what I'm trying to understand. Why do Miami U love Cam Ward as if he is like y'all next big thing? But he never did nothing for Miami U. And even before Miami U, look at his record, bro. He's not that good. I don't understand where all the hype came from.
But he was. He did do a lot for the University of Miami.
So he was good with University of Washington?
Yeah, he actually did.
Or whatever.
He did a decent job. He didn't have a great offensive line, but he did.
I think he was like 6-13 in his career at that old school before he went to Miami.
And I can agree with that. But here's what I think people are missing. For some reason, a lot of times, and I understand why this happens, people love to make the quarterback the winner and the loser. But there are other aspects of the game, like defense. Miami's defense was horrific, bro. Bro, we're putting up averaging 35, 40 points. You should be winning these games. We think about it. Cam Ward puts up 21 points and we give up the draws against Syracuse. So I hear what you're saying, but it's not like Venus and Serena out there playing tennis by yourself. You're the quarterback, true indeed. And I understand when you win, the quarterback is the reason they won everything, right? When you lose, the quarterback.
So this is the thing. Yeah. And it's another thing. So you know that y'all messed up last year by not having a defense. So y'all doubled down and paid more for a less talented quarterback. And y'all paid $4 million for Carson Beck now.
And here's what I'll tell you.
And then
here's what I tell you, bro. I ain't in those rooms, dog. And if they pay for it, here's what I tell you. If you don't get return on investment, then fire Coach Cristobal. See, that's what I tell you. See, if you don't get, here's my deal. I don't care if they give them $50 million. You better get $50 million worth of wins out of it. That's all I'm saying. So to your point.
This is the last thing I'm going to ask you though, big dog.
Sure.
Do you feel that Cam Ward gave you almost $2 million worth of play at Miami U?
In today's climate.
No playoff appearance. Ranked number, what? Y'all was ranked all the way up to number 4. He got $2 million. Do you feel like he did y'all justice?
I believe so. The only thing he didn't do is play defense and kick return. Bro, he had the number 1 offense primarily because of him. Let's call a spade, right? He did his thing. But like I tell you, it's a team game. So when you keep saying he didn't, no playoff appearance, it's because our defense was horrific, bro. And I'm not making an excuse. I'm
But
trying to
y'all
tell you.
wasn't saying that when y'all was 10-0. Y'all was the best in the country when y'all was 10-0.
Sir,
I didn't hear nobody talking about the defense when y'all was 10-0.
Excuse me. I'll say this to
But
you.
then y'all lose to an unranked team, and now it's the defense.
So here's what I'll tell you. You have not watched this channel because, like you said, your friend just put you on. If you go back and watch my shows, I've been talking about the defense since we played Virginia Tech, and I was sitting in a hospital bed. I've been talking about this defense, and I use this great analogy. I said that it's like having a nail in your tire. And I said, somebody's saying, hey, you need to get that nail out your tire because it's going to come out and what happens. Right? I'm just saying. So I know you're new to this channel, so I'm trying to give you some background about Coach Hayes. I understand you got fans, but I'm talking about me. And I said, the response is, oh, well, I still got air in it because I saw us just barely win against VTech, barely win against Cal, barely win against Louisville, barely win against Duke. No, we're losing to Duke at halftime. And I said, if we don't fix this defense, when the nail comes out the tire, we're going to be stranded. And what happened? Georgia Tech, it came out. And then guess what? In Syracuse, we just straight blew the whole tire off and wrecked out.
Yep.
And I said that. So you can go back and look at previous shows. I know you're new to the channel, as you stated.
Them games when Cam Ward fumbling to lose the game, he careless with the ball. Nobody is thinking about this in the draft. Everybody just thinking, oh, I don't know what everybody thinking. I don't know what they think Cam Ward is. He was behind a superior line, if you ask me, against lesser talent. And as soon as he met his match, it was over. So that's how I feel about him. I don't know.
No, but here's
you got it though, Coach.
No, I don't have anything.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you. You're right. He did fumble the ball. You're 100% right. But however, he put up 35 points. With the average 35 points, the number one offense in college football, right? And we're talking about
just like if
we're
a quarterback don't score the whole game and he scores. Say the game is 8-0 and you ain't score all game, and you finally get the ball. And now you do score. That's the same thing. Like, all right, you could be scoring all game, but when it really matters is you're gonna score. That's the problem. I seen Shedeur do it.
I'm with you 100%, but I've also seen Shedeur. I've seen Shedeur not do it. Listen,
when the tight end dropped the ball.
Guess what? So what are you gonna say? Shedeur didn't win? No, the tight end dropped the ball.
Throwing and catching. I mean, he ain't fumbling for the game.
But that's what
we 10-0 against an unranked team. Nah.
But that's what you're asking Cam Ward to do. You basically asking Cam Ward to play offense and defense. Basically,
he fumbled the ball for the game. It's not Shedeur throwing the ball to himself and dropping it. It's a tight end dropping the ball. He putting them in a perfect position and he dropping the ball. This is Cam Ward literally fumbling the ball for the game.
He threw the interception to Tommy Hill.
I think twice in a row.
He threw the interception to Tommy Hill against Nebraska to put up 7 points. I mean, we could nitpick plays. It's never going to go down to one particular play. And I'm not getting into that. What I'm trying to tell you is I have no knocks on Shedeur. I don't. I think the young man can play. I think the dude I think he's an NFL talent. I think he dropped in the draft for other reasons outside of his playing ability. Right? That's just what it is. And that's the reality of it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm still waiting for you to tell me what I've said that you said I talked down on Shedeur, and you haven't answered that yet. Because tell me what I've said where I've talked down on Shedeur.
How you were just talking like, oh, it's not even going to be a competition between him and Dillon Gabriel. If you I'm in Cleveland. Every time I go to work, all people talk about is Shedeur. Everybody talking about how he threw 3 picks at the mini camp. I mean, it's not even really a thing. I feel like the Browns signed Shedeur because we already got to pay what's this dude Watson like $80 million to like 2028.
Okay.
So we got a good quarterback that we're not about to be paying for 4 years. That was the whole thing.
But let me go back because I want to correct.
That's all.
I know, but I want to correct you. I never said that it's no competition. That's what you just said, right? I never said that.
I mean, but you talk about the thing and you never talk. Everybody seen the picks, but you ain't talk about it once, though. You know.
Okay. So he threw 3 picks. That's fine. It's rookie.
But if that was Shedeur, I know for a fact that'd be the main topic. Oh, Shedeur getting beat in Cleveland. But
not me. No, not me. I know what rookie mini camp is all about. I've never said that. I never said
it's still
anything.
Up for grabs to you. You like, oh, everybody talking about Dillon Gabriel short. Imagine if
I said that he was catching straight. I said that he was catching strays. And the reason I said Dillon Gabriel caught strays because Dillon Gabriel,
he's not good. He's
Okay,
not better than Shedeur.
that's fine.
It's not even really a comparison.
But that's fine. But nobody's talking, again, to your point, nobody's talking about his play. Y'all talking about he sucks. He this. They said the same thing about Bo Nix. And Bo Nix went out there and lit it up. Bo Nix.
Nah, nobody said that about Bo Nix.
Who?
Nobody said that.
You, dog, like, sir.
Who is saying that about Bo Nix?
Sir.
Not me. I mean,
I don't know you, dog. Like I said, I'm not trying to be funny, but I don't know
right.
you.
You just said we were saying.
No, when I'm saying the fan base,
no.
I'm speaking in general about the fan base. I can't speak to what you said. This is our first time talking.
When you talk about like Colorado fans, I'm a Colorado fan, a Cleveland Browns
and trust
fan.
me,
So when
you can't tell. And you're gonna tell me people didn't say Bo Nix was trash?
I'm not familiar with it. I ain't hear nobody say it.
Well, I'm glad. Can I say this? I'm glad you've now become when you come to this show and you watching. Because brother, if you ever bored or you want to watch some toilet video, you know, you on the throne, just go back a couple years and look at some old video. You hear it, bro. I'm not here to make anything about it. My whole thing is, like I said, I think Shedeur's an NFL talent. I think my biggest issue, brother. What's your name again? You said T.
This Juan from Cleveland. Juan, Juan. Yeah.
Juan, I apologize, Juan. So Juan, what I'm saying to you is, when I listen to this, sometimes they're so fanned out that you create a certain narrative. That's what I was saying. The guy Harry said. I have never said, because see, that's the thing. What you're doing right now is exactly what I think Harry was talking about. The host from TLP Sports was, I think you came into this show with a certain narrative about me. And
I would send videos.
And what did I say?
You talking to certain people.
And what did I say?
Certain stuff. I mean, the dude Rob from Texas. I saw his video and I saw a couple other dudes. My friend sent me your stuff because he know I mess with Colorado.
And what was my thing from Rob from Texas?
That's why he sent me it, because you known as somebody that's talking about Colorado people.
There you go. But if you listen to me, I talk about the fans. I'm not talking about the players. I'm talking about the fans.
But what's wrong with the fans? Do they not do the same thing as Alabama fans or any other fans?
Maybe so.
They ride for their team.
Listen, nothing wrong with that. But some of the stuff, bro, is outlandish, bro. It's out. And here's the funny thing about
you can't believe everything you see. Like,
of course,
when people say, "Oh, Shedeur threw the most yards in minigame history," that's obviously like a troll. Like,
but dog,
it's not serious.
But here's my point, though, Juan. You may know that, but you know how many people that are now following Colorado that will take that to the bank and will bet. Dude has lost an eyebrow on this show for making bets about stuff like that. A dude lost an eye. Shout out to Big Tiger.
Yeah, that's crazy work. Crazy work,
bro. That's the kind of stuff.
If you believe that, then it's just like, come on, bro.
So Juan, that's what that's what I'm dealing with. People call the show and want to bet me an eyebrow that they didn't throw a flag, dog. But I'm a hater though, because he showed the eyebrow. But here's the funny thing.
Ridiculous. I mean,
no, but Juan, let me say this.
Obviously,
let me say this. But he made the bet. I didn't make the bet. That's the that's the kind of stuff that Juan, that I'm telling you battle on this show is crazy. It's craziness. And here's what I'll say to you. What I realized too, Juan, and I enjoyed this conversation. I appreciate you. We got some other callers, but y'all hold tight.
Yeah, anytime, bro. I like the show.
But here's what I'll tell you. What I had to realize was that in order for me to make fun of a guy like Rob from Texas, you know what I had to do? I had to also I had to also point out that Shedeur didn't get picked in the first round. Because see, Rob from Texas want to bet me Shedeur Sanders is going to be the first pick overall over Cam Ward, right? So when Cam Ward's get picked, and I say, hey, what's that number one? So Cam Ward, I'm having fun with it, but it sounds like I'm downing Shedeur, but I'm really not. I'm really making fun of Rob, right? These are the type of things that you come to
I feel Rob. He know that it's not about talent no more. Just like you said, it's secret stuff. Like, nobody knows why Shedeur went all the way to 5th round. But they obviously colluded, but everybody is okay with that, I guess. I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. I look at it like they just cheated this dude out of $20-something million.
So here's what
That's how I look at it.
Here's what I'll tell you. Here's what I'll tell you. And I'm with you and I hear you. However, this is where I try to tell fans, sir, you are trying to apply for their company. It's not your company. It's their company. They run it how they choose. I don't know how old you are, but like Outkast say, I throw my dice against the wall the way I want to flicks them. Meaning I do what I want to do. I don't know where you work or if you work or whatever, But you can't go to
Yeah,
your.
I mean, but I
No,
come
hear me out.
appropriate. I have my haircut. I come nicely, but I haven't really understood what has he ever done in public.
There you go.
What is he doing?
Thank you.
I mean, they signing people that's really going to jail for crazy stuff. Like, what's the D lineman that played for the Eagles? He was in all type of stuff. It's all
Jalen
type
Carter.
of stuff that happen every year, and they sign these players
I agree.
in the first round.
I agree with you, but
But this is a dude that's not really doing nothing illegal, but y'all gonna make him go to the fifth. I don't get it.
But to your point, sir.
Yeah.
To your point, back to what I was saying that Harry said, what I thought he articulated extremely well. Narratives are created by fans, and Shedeur ain't really did none of that. Like, he hasn't.
It was never really a pinpointed like thing that they could say, "Oh, he did this." It was never really nothing.
So Shedeur is getting the same treatment. I'll make a parallel here. Shedeur's getting the same treatment I'm getting. He's getting blasted for some. Can't nobody pinpoint what he did. I'm considered a hater, but nobody till this day can tell me what I've said tonight or any other night that makes me a hater. You still haven't told me.
No, I wouldn't call you a hater.
There we go.
I would say that you like somebody that's known for talking not down, but about Colorado people. And some of the stuff that we hear is seeming biased. I mean,
so again,
obviously a Miami U fan.
No, it has nothing to do with it. So it has nothing to do with Miami, dog. Listen. So okay, you said that I say I talk down. If you watched a couple of shows, I'm just asking you to recite something that I've said. And I will say, yeah, I said that.
Well, I was just telling you about how you always be like, you explain why you do it. You say you trolling your friend. But when we look at it, we thinking like, what the heck? Dude, Shedeur is better than Cam Ward. From my point of view, that's all I'm looking at. If he was with Miami U last year, I'm pretty sure they would have went further.
But sir, that's an opinion. You can't, now you're knocking me for an opinion.
I mean, what we going by accuracy? What we going by college record?
What
are we doing?
I've only said
because he's beating him in all those stats.
I know, but this is what I said. This is exactly what I said. The comparison between Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. There's only one difference. And I've said this way back when I was doing the shows with Chico. I said they're both accurate, right? They're roughly about the same size. Cam Ward is a little bigger, right? Maybe a little taller, but a little bit. I mean, it ain't like Cam Ward 6'6", right? 250. It ain't like that. So they're in the same realm. Mm-hmm. I said escapability is what gives Cam Ward the edge to me. Do you think that's a fair assessment?
I mean, from my point of view, every time I see Cam Ward with Miami U, y'all think it's so raw that he's doing nothing in the pocket. He's celebrating that his lineman is better than the D-line. I'm looking at Shedeur fight for his life and still making plays. I'm looking at Cam Ward with the better O-line against unranked teams doing whatever, fumbling, and y'all congratulating I don't get.
I still congratulated Shedeur. But that's my hope.
It's not like Cam Ward gonna be able to just stand in the pocket for 5-10 seconds in the
Sir,
NFL.
I get that, but
that's not even gonna translate.
But Juan, so I'm a hater because Cam Ward had a better offensive line.
I mean, you celebrating the fact that it was something that none of us know what happened, and you celebrating it. So that makes me look at it like, what?
I'm celebrating what though?
Why do Miami U celebrate Cam Ward? I don't know. I have no clue. He didn't get y'all where y'all supposed to go. Y'all pay him $2 million almost to do what? To go to the Pop-Tart Bowl?
So I just want to make sure I'm clear on this. So I'm a hater because Cam Ward had a better offensive line. I didn't call you a hater yet.
I never called you a hater. I just said you talk down on certain players.
So where did I talk down on Shedeur? I'm still waiting for you to tell me.
That's how I'm looking at it. That's how I'm looking at it. When you do that, you be like, Cam Ward went number one. It wasn't Shedeur. It wasn't Travis Hunter. But it's like, I guess you're right. You got it.
Is that a fact?
But is that a fact? What happens at the end of it? In 5 or 10 years, we're gonna see.
Sir, that's the same thing people tell me. Xavier Restrepo didn't get drafted. I don't call them Miami haters.
I mean, none of Cam Ward's receivers got drafted. So what was he really doing? What did he do for Miami U? None of his receivers got drafted. All of Shedeur's receivers got drafted. All 3 of them.
Yeah, they had him as the number 1 offense in college football.
They had y'all as the number 1 offense, and none of your receivers got drafted.
Yeah.
That's crazy, right?
Well, not necessarily. No, you're not.
What was really going on in the draft? We will never know.
No, you're not tripping because we had a hot head in Jacoby George. We had a Xavier Restrepo that ran a 4.8. The tight end got
10-0, man.
Sir, the tight end got
bad.
But I'm sorry.
I'm gonna listen in.
No, but listen, the tight end got drafted, who he threw to a lot. So those were the eligible guys. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I mean, we all talked about my friend, he talked about Restrepo all year, like he was about to be first round or something.
No, I highly disagree with that. I never said Restrepo. All right, Juan, I appreciate you, man. Don't be a stranger.
Yes, sir. You know, I'm listening up, bro. I'm gonna check in probably another time. I got you.
Much love.
I'm tuned in, man.
All right, man.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
Anytime, brother. All right, shout out to Juan, a Cleveland Brown fan. Still waiting for somebody to tell me why I'm a hater. That's why I wore my shirt today. Then what? 1, 2, going into the third year dealing with Colorado, and nobody still can say why I'm a hater. I'm still waiting on this, but much love. Anyway, let me get to the next call. 8277 on the line. 8277. Call or talk to us. Give us your name, where you calling from.
What up, Coach? This is BP.
Oh, BP, what's up,
that's
man?
Right, your nemesis.
That's
right.
BP. Did I pay you?
I'm the guy. I'm your benefactor and your loan officer, Coach. I'm the one that bet you and beat your butt in terms of judgment. But let me say this right up front. Do you have a clap sound in your sound button?
I do. You want me to clap it up for you?
I want you. No, not for me. Juan just took a pair of pliers and a torch to your butt.
BP,
Look,
stop.
I got to give Juan an applause. He ain't let you slip one time. I love it. Juan, anytime, bro, it's not even my show, but come back and cook. I love Coach Hayes, but I love
BP.
the way you put him in a griddle and cooked his butt and didn't let him move. Love it.
So BP.
Now.
Hold up, BP. Wait a minute
what?
now. Wait a minute. Because I don't mind. I love these type of things. But you say put me in a griddle. I'm going to ask you, how did he do that? I'm listening.
Bro, he cornered you on facts. Let
me
give you one example.
What fact, please?
All right, give me a chance. So when he was talking about Cam Ward and his performance and how he would fumble the ball, and he has a reputation right now of all the glamour and glitter that he has, but one of the things that people are worried about is his care for the ball. And because of what Juan described and how he handled the ball, that's one problem. Another problem is, like, he's right. You guys had a great offense, great offensive line. There were a lot of good things that he had from an offense perspective that made him great. I'm not taking away from him. He's a talent. But at the same time, you were like, well, the defense wasn't good. This wasn't good. That wasn't good. And he let you slip on that because he was cutting you on so much other stuff. But let's flip this around. Shedeur didn't have an offense. He didn't have a running game. And he didn't have a defense. So everything was based on his arm and what he had to do.
Okay.
So I'm not calling you a hater, Coach. I'm not calling you a hater. But sometimes you'll say stuff and you'll do stuff that's convenient for your cause that makes people question, like, whoa, where is he coming from? Is he not seeing the same thing I'm seeing? Now, I think most of it is because you root for your team. I can't fault you for that.
No, but
you don't have to like Colorado. No. Hold on.
No, but you're talking because I want to talk in pieces.
Colorado's... Okay, but you asked me a question. I'm telling you the reason.
Oh, well, you were going on to 3 different things, but go ahead, BP. I'm listening.
All right, my bad. Go ahead, bro.
So my question, I don't know, but back to what I was saying, because I like to break things down before we just run off and then it be all over the place. Okay. Because sometimes people don't follow.
All right.
So here's my question.
All right.
When you said that he brought that up and he had the nerve to talk about the fumble, like I said, those things happen. He got hit. Yeah, I agree. Should not have fumbled. But where the hater, but the hater in me, the hater in me, which I did not do, my rebuttal could have been like, well, look how many games y'all lost because Shedeur is taking sacks. And I didn't do that. I could have easily rebutted those.
Hold on, brother. And you're right. Let me focus, right? He brought up one thing, which was the fumble, which was one of his flaws. But I think during the course of that conversation, I think y'all got on the subject of the teams that he played, and you said, well, he carried the team in terms of scoring or something to that effect, right?
I just said they had the number one offense.
He drove the offense in spite the fact that they may have lost. And you said, well, the reason they lost is because the defense wasn't good. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so apples to apples. Not only did Shedeur have a poor defense, not only did he have a poor offensive line, but they had no running game, right? So
It's
there's
arguable.
no dispute that everything that Colorado did, including against the top-notch teams that they played. If you look at the Kansas game and you look at I think it was the Arizona game, they lost that game. But let's look at Kansas specifically. If you look at the score, you never know that it was a lopsided game because Shedeur put that team on his back and made it competitive. Now, you might call it trash ball at the end, but at the end of the day, he made it competitive because he put that team on his back, and he was the offense, period.
Okay.
He was the team, period.
Okay.
There was no defense or very little of it, and there was no offensive line, and even the improved offensive line wasn't that good.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is the sense that you get from outrage, and I'm gonna peel this on your back. Let me start at the top, the easy part. Now, let me not talk about the brother because he ain't here to defend himself, but you mentioned a particular influencer on YouTube. I ain't going to say his name out of respect for him.
Tiger?
No, it begin with a T. Not Tiger, the TL. But
the guy Harry, TLP?
Yeah. You kind of brought him up, I think, as an example of a wild Colorado fan. And if that was the case, bro, I won't disagree with you. I think he wholeheartedly loves the team, but at the same time, bro, he got a business he's running, right? And his business is selling what he's selling. I can't fault him for that. So sometimes he'll say some stuff that's a little outlandish and crazy. I started listening. I don't happen to like it now, but I don't fault anybody for listening to him and for what he's doing. He's selling a brand, just like you are.
Okay,
so
can
he
I
may say some things that are outlandish. Go ahead.
No, just my question was, you said that I said that he did what now?
Well, I think you were kind of comparing him or using him as the poster child for the typical wild Colorado fan. I thought that you were first.
And see, BP,
maybe
BP,
I'm assuming the wrong thing.
Yeah, but you're 100% wrong. And see, this right here, BP, this right here is the perfect. Just hear me out for a second. This is the perfect example about when I say people want to hear what they want to hear. I was actually praising Harry from TLP for saying that fans create a certain narrative to create a certain perception about people that are untrue. See, this is my biggest issue.
Fair.
Hold on, but I just want to be clean. I know, but I just want to be clean on this.
I don't want you to go too far.
No, I'm not going too far, but I want to be clean. But Harry, hold on a second.
But I really admit that I made some assumptions there because I heard part of the conversation.
I know, but can I just say this last piece, and I want to be done.
But I want to get to the real point, though.
BP, wait a second.
Go ahead.
My point is, everything that is done and where people hate, that say I hate, they always mishear. When Juan was on, he said the same thing. And if you notice, when I asked him, what did he say? No, well, you're not really hating. I said, well, am I hating? No, you're not really hating. Well, what did I say? Well, you didn't really say anything. And then when you said this, now imagine if I didn't correct you. You would go on and say that I said that Harry was some super fan. I didn't say that.
That's fine. And I'll take that. That's why I wanted to stop you, because that's why I said I wanted to start there first, because I was shaky about what you really intended there, right? So I don't want to belabor that point, but let me get to the meat of the matter in terms of my interpretation of what you might be doing that's making Colorado and Shedeur fans a little get their dander up, right?
All right.
Now, as I was coming into the conversation, you were finishing your opening dialogue or at least a dialogue where you were saying, I just don't understand how these Colorado fans will look at these small situations and blow it up into X, right? And I think you said something more specific, but I'm just kind of summarizing. Is that fair in terms of what I heard?
No, because I want to know what you're summarizing. You can't just give me a very vague statement like that. Tell me what I said.
Well, I mean, all right. For example, somebody said, well, Shedeur threw the most 400 yards within a rookie camp. I think it was something to that effect. Is that correct?
So what I said was,
how did somebody say that?
I know I was saying, okay, so to your point, I said, How? Because that's so the same reason where you come into these conversations is the same reason why I like to stop and talk, because a lot of people come into the show and they leave. So I want them to understand the context. I always believe
Right.
context
That's
matters.
why I'm asking.
I know, so I'm
That's why
telling
I'm
you.
asking.
I said that somebody sent me a
Okay.
picture saying that that Shedeur is the first player in rookie minicamp to throw 400 plus yards, 5 touchdowns, and this, that stuff, and the other. And I'm like,
why is that important to you, right?
no,
Why
why
is
is it
that
important
important,
to them? Like, what are we talking? Like, we're talking
Right.
about throwing
Well,
balls on
me
air.
too. Lump me in that crowd. I'm in that crowd. So lump me in there.
Okay.
Right. And then you said something to the effect of he got a 12 and the 12 means 144 and the 144 means something else. How can you wrap yourselves around that? You didn't say the words, but how can you wrap yourselves around the axle about something as simple as that? Is that fair? Is that along the lines of what you said?
And I remember I said a fan, not Shedeur, though. I said, how do y'all come up with this
not
stuff?
him. I'm saying the fans.
Okay.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
Okay.
So those two examples, am I over the target in terms of my interpretation of where you were coming from with that?
No, I said exactly that. I said that I was making a comparison to what I was talking about with Xavier Restrepo, because what happened is I put I don't know if you saw that or when you came in, but I put a tweet out that said, because Xavier Restrepo was wearing number 87. So I said he's the 8th round draft pick, which is the undrafted free agency round. And I say
at that point, Coach, you was kind of poking fun
at the fans. At the fans.
Point. Right. You had made your point, but you were using that as an example to poke fun
there you go.
At the ridiculousness of looking at the number. Okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Okay.
I'm just verifying to make sure I understood what you were doing. Am I correct?
Now you're 100% correct. Now that you have the context. Yes. Go ahead. Continue.
My man. So what I'm telling you is a sense of outrage or what the hell that you're getting from people is it's rooted in what Juan just put pliers in a torch to you on, right?
Sir,
and you may or may not agree, but I think Juan made a very good case for the reason why that a lot of Shedeur's fans believe that he is either on par or better than Cam for the reasons that I mentioned too. And I'm not taking anything away from Cam, right? But for all the reasons that Juan described to you, his handling the ball, his care of the team, what his real value was to Miami, and ultimately what he did as a result of that. And then you compare that to a brother who took over 90 sacks, was rated as among the most accurate passers in college football, put up over 4,000 yards, put a Heisman Trophy winner in the Heisman, got all of his receivers drafted or at least being looked at or considered.
Okay.
And he's at 5th in the bottom of the draft. People are outraged at that shit, man.
And listen, BP.
I didn't mean to curse.
I'm with no, but you're good. But hold on, BP.
I heard you out. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. How long we gonna talk?
So what they're seeing is what they think is a disservice to him, and they're trying to rally around him, even though it may not mean anything, because in the context of a fan, we don't mean crap in terms of people who are real decision makers.
Okay.
But for us in our own world who are dealing with what we just saw, we're saying, okay, I'm gonna do my part. I might not be able to be on the field, I might not be in the front office of the people who made that fucked up ass decision, but at least as a fan, I'm gonna watch out for everything I see, because it looks like to me something bad happened to this young man. Something real bad and real stinky, and it's not in the norm. You've got even pro athletes and coaches and people in the media who are saying this doesn't look right. Now, it's not your normal I disagree or this, that, and the third. You got people putting their careers on the line, i.e., I forget his name, Mel, whatever his name was.
Mm-hmm.
They're outraged at what they just witnessed.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So even if you just take for the fact that, hey, the guys who really know say this, okay, fine. But there are a lot of guys who've been powwowing with these guys who really know for years, who are now saying, hey, this don't look right. And so for that alone, you got a fan base that's riled up and saying, wait a minute, this ain't right. So they're keen to everything. And they're looking at everything to see what the hell is going on. And I'm sorry to do this to you, because I know you got a diverse fan base. Mm-hmm. So apologies.
Do your thing. Say your thing.
Audience.
Say your thing.
I'm not coming at you guys.
Mhm.
But what I'm saying is that when we see brothers who we think have experience or have family members or whatever that may have had the same experience that our family members have had, or at least witnessed it, and they're not at least acknowledging that this is kind of effed up, then that's when people say, all right, well, I know he ain't this, but maybe he's just hating because he loves his team.
Okay.
Right?
So hold on. You did a lot of
I
talking
think
there.
that's
I
what
would like to speak. I would like
go
to
ahead,
speak.
go ahead.
First of all,
Go ahead.
I agree that I don't think that Shedeur Sanders was a 5th round draft pick. I agree with that. Right.
Okay.
But I've also said, and if you watch this show, the NFL is not an exact science. Here's a perfect example. Here's why I'm trying to, here's what I'm saying. When people look at Shedeur, they have an affinity for him. And I understand that. I get it. Y'all are wrapped in. Y'all watch the
but
Well-Off
it's
meeting.
for a reason, though,
I know,
bro.
but
I mean, when we
hear me.
agree that they have it's not just a wild affinity. It's that he's a caliber of. It's not because of his
Sir,
color.
I get that.
I
get that,
all right,
BP.
cool.
But follow me. Just follow me. He is Shedeur Sanders. Y'all follow him. Y'all well off subconsciously. Y'all get this affinity for him. Y'all locked in. I get it. I understand that. But I think when y'all listen to if y'all listen to yourselves, y'all think he's the only young man that has ever gone through something like this. Let me ask you this. Do you think a guy that wins the Heisman Trophy, wins 2 national championships, should he be a 7th round pick?
Oh, absolutely not.
No? Well, go ask Gino Toretta from the University of Miami. Won 2 national championships, won the Heisman, and was a 7th round draft pick. Right? These things happen all the time. Excuse me. The quarterback on arguably the best college football team of all time, the 01 Miami Hurricanes, Ken Dorsey, should he be a 7th round draft pick? He was.
No.
But here's the thing.
No.
But then let's flip it. I go back to AR-15, Anthony Richardson. Doesn't throw a college touchdown for the first 3 games in his senior campaign, put up 2,000 yards, right? Crappy season, and a 4th pick overall.
Yep.
So what I'm telling, hold on, hear me out. Here, no, but let me prove.
Okay.
Yes, I'm proving the point. What I'm proving is for some reason, and for whatever reason it is, right? In which we know, I said this. I think that Shedeur Sanders dropped to 5th not because of his athletic ability. It's because of what they perceive the other things that go around. And that brings me back to Harry from TLP. He brought it in that point. I'm not saying it's fair that he got knocked. But what I am telling you, Gino Toretta ain't no problem. Ken Dorsey wasn't no problem. Hell, this dude couldn't hit the side of a damn barn, and he's the 4th pick overall, and he ain't playing right now in Indianapolis. Right, the 4th pick overall.
I mean, I think we're in violent agreement that the art of drafting is not a science.
So, but when I say these things,
politics.
I know, but let me up. But when I say these things, BP, because would you agree or disagree with this? A large percentage of people that are now watching college football and following Shedeur Sanders and the Colorado Buffalo fan are not longtime college fans. They're relatively new. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, I'd agree with you in terms
so
of
they don't know.
Shedeur, sure.
So they don't know the history of things. So when a person like myself comes on and says, "Hey, guys, I know it may sound like hate, but if you look at the history of these things, adding other things into it, and is it fair when a Johnny Manziel does the money machine and he get first? No, it's not fair. But we know the game in which we play. Let's not get it twisted. Let's not get it twisted. The game in which we play." We already down 21 points, but the scoreboard still says 0-0. And that's in all facets of life. Let's not get that twisted. But you can't say that here. When you say that, you're considered a hater. But like I told you, a guy that won 2 national championships, a Heisman Trophy, goes 7th round. The 7th round, bro. I'm just saying, but because people don't know the history, and when I try to enlighten them, instead of them listening, right, they're waiting to say you're hating. And I'm just saying that it's not an exact science, BP, and things happen, and these things happen because whatever. And even, I don't know if you caught this in the show, a team didn't draft Aaron Rodgers because at the end of the meeting with the head coach, he got up and slapped the coach on the butt and called him by his first name.
Mm-hmm.
Think about this. Let me ask you this. You are in charge of a team, and I don't know your first name, so I'm just going to use Bob, for example. I don't want you to say your name, just Bob, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Shedeur Sanders get up and be like, all right, Bob, good meeting, slap you on the butt and walk out. That may bother you. It may not bother you. But guess what? It bothered that particular head coach and GM that was sitting there, and they say, you know what? This dude not a good fit. Forget what he did on the football field. If this dude got enough cojones to stand up and call the head coach Bob and slap him on the butt and walk out the door, this ain't a dude that's a good fit for this particular program. Maybe for somebody else. And then Aaron Rodgers proved that he's a good quarterback for Green Bay Packers, so forth. But we're just talking about there's so many different variables besides what you do on the football field. And at the end of the day, people have to do what's best, and that's their organization. And that's all I'm saying. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, I can tell you another story. Keyshawn told a story just on ESPN. Similar story. Said he was on a team. I forget the name of the team he said he was on, but he was initially being drafted. He went first in the draft, and he was interviewing with a team. And one of the guys on the team, I can't remember his name, told him he was a hot dogger, right?
Mm-hmm.
And his point, you can look it up, but he said, well, look, generally people who don't look at the game and they look at the BS that you're trying to talk about, they have the right to do it. I'm going to grant you that, right? They're part of the ownership and the team. It's their business. They get to run it the way they want. I'll grant you that. But generally speaking, the people on the lower end of that totem pole, we're not talking about owners and possibly even GMs, but the coaching level folks who kind of think that way, this is Keyshawn. He's like, they typically get blown out. In this particular case, he said the guy said he was a hot dog or this, that, and the third. The guy ended up getting blown out. Now, I know that doesn't happen across the board. It probably should, right? But I should have prefaced what I was saying by 100%. I agree with you that it is a art, not a science, and it's a political happy match about who I think I like versus who's on the field and how much they can play for me. Now, in instances where there are glaring issues, like you got a drug addiction problem, you got a woman problem off the field, or you got a law problem off the field, you got a substance abuse problem. Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I mean, you got to make decisions for the team. But in an instance where a guy just has a slight personality difference, and you obliterate your whole team, let's bring in the fact that you're already a losing team for the fact that you get to pick anyway.
Sir, they don't care.
You have piss poor decision making. Huh?
Yes, that's the whole point. The Browns organization.
Right,
I say this? Y'all can call me a hater for this. I hate the fact that Shedeur Sanders went to the Cleveland Browns. That whole organization needs a nickel worth of gas and a match and blow that ish up, dog. They're terrible.
Oh, yeah. Well, I live in the Redskins world, the Commanders world. So I can tell you firsthand what a dumpster fire looks like and a continuously burning one, right? So the fact that we got an infusion of different leadership, different coaching, and I had my butt on my back about a Dallas coach coming here, but when I got educated about him being from DC, I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. But when they blew us away and completely turned that team around, every team in the league needs to adhere to that, where if you're not winning for 5 years, you automatically should relinquish your ownership. If you're not a competitive team, being competitive, because what's his face, even though he was a losing team, he was the most profitable team in the NFL. Can you believe that?
Yes. But see, that's the problem, though. You're talking. Hold on, BP. I got to say, because I got to move on. But I've got to say this, BP. Seriously.
All right, bro.
I got to say this seriously.
Yeah.
You're speaking as a fan, and I understand that. But the Browns have been bad forever, but they're still profitable. They're still worth $4-something billion, and they suck. You can't tell a company, let me ask you this, because they don't win, the owner should give up his team? That's fan talk, BP.
I know. I know it's not a realm of possibility,
but that's my whole point.
Theoretically, for the state and the city that they represent, and if they continuously suck, I mean that's theoretical. I know that. I know it isn't going to happen, right? It's a private business. They're not going to be able to force them to do that. Although, if you think about it, the Congress got involved with the Redskins, and that's the reason why Dan Snyder got blown out of here, right? I think that's a unique case. I'll admit that.
Thank you. It had nothing to do with winning and losing. That had nothing to do with winning and losing.
Well, and I agree with you. But what I'm saying is, let's acknowledge the fact that I think you proved my point in that it's not a science, it's an art, and it's a beauty pageant in some cases. And in some cases, somebody with thin skin can decide the fate of an entire season just because somebody had the audacity to smack them on the back and say their first name when you know good and well that they're good at what they do.
Sir, if I'm I got to go, but I'm gonna just say this again. That's speaking as a fan. I am a billionaire. Right? I am the head of this program.
Well,
hold on, man. I'm the head of this program. Sir, I'm the head of this program. I don't know what you do for a living, BP, but let's just say you're a computer tech dude and you walk in to get a job in there with Bill Gates at Microsoft. And you be like, all right, Bill, slap him on the butt and walk out. You think you're going to get hired? Because you're the best programmer?
Well, again, I ain't never gonna slap another man on the butt, but using your analogy, if I had a relationship where I was yucking and laughing and joking and Bill had slapped me on my butt and said, hey, what's up, Brett? And we pounding fists and doing what we're doing, which, by the way, is based on Shedeur's representative's account of what happened. That's what happened to him. He let his guard down because New York had been embedded with them for months.
Okay.
And I think he thought he built a relationship with them where he could let his hair down. And it's the same scenario where I don't think he realized that he's still being interviewed, and that may be his fault, but he's 20 years old.
I understand.
So if I'm 40-something years old, 50-something, 60 years old, and I got a 20-year-old that's a little rough around the edges, am I going to have thin enough skin where something as small as that decides the fate of $1 billion team? If he's got the talent,
you're right.
You can do that. You're well within your right to do that, but does it make sense to the fan base? And I'll finish with this. To your point, what can happen as a result of that? I don't know if you followed everything that happened to Dan Snyder over the course of time. It wasn't just Congress; it was death by 1,000 cuts that finally got him up out of here because he was holding on for dear life and he wasn't leaving.
But can I tell you why? I'll say this at the end. I got to run, Brett. I got to run a BP.
Yeah.
The reason if he was winning, none of that would have happened. But because he was losing and he was an a-hole to people. That's why they gave him the death by 1,000. Because BP, I got to go. I got a lot of people on the line, man. I got to run. Thanks, man.
All right, brother. Hey, look, I'm trying to hold you to the next year's bet for Colorado. So I'm gonna hit
12-0. 12-0. I'm with it. That's right. Colorado going 12-0. All right, man. All right, man. That was lengthy. Yes, sir. That was a lengthy conversation, man. I got to get running. We running down this list right quick. I got quite a few people in here. I got my man T from Baltimore in the building. What's up, baby? Sis, I'll be having to give him the business sometime. That's how I work. T from Baltimore going once. T from Baltimore going twice.
What's happening?
What's up, baby?
What's happening, Coach? Can you hear me?
Yes. Talk to me.
All right, man. Listen, you gotta stop letting these people come up here and just say anything.
I tried, but they call me a hater.
Bro, they coming in and saying anything. Like stuff like this factually not true, bro. Like Cam had better stats than Shedeur this year. Newsbreaker.
I said that.
Newsbreaker. You can go look it up. We can look it up in real time, bro.
But he had a better O-line. Yeah, whatever, dog. Yeah.
So just to and this is my opinion based on my sources. You know, I got my sources. So I talked to my sources and I put together my opinion and I looked at the broad scope of things for this whole Shedeur thing. There are some football reasons that he dropped in the draft. And they just got to get over it. Look at the past Biletnikoff winning receivers and their quarterbacks. The quarterbacks usually don't get drafted high because it's hard to discern who was doing what.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my bad.
The evaluators in the draft
Mhm.
made a determination that Shedeur Sanders, O-line be damned, had one of the best receiving corps in college football.
Okay.
Maybe not the number one, but they was up there
Okay.
as far as production go. So it's hard to tell who's doing what, and then they look at some of the dynamic throws versus some of the dynamic catches. Travis Hunter quarterback shoulder catch, quarterback shoulder against North Dakota. Great pass. Nobody can deny that. But the catch with a man with his hand basically in your face mask was a better catch. I'm sorry.
So
He
phenomenal.
played with a Heisman Award winner and a Bolitnikoff winner. It's hard to tell who did what.
Hold up, real quick, T. I got to give Travis Hunter that catch on Bale at the end zone where he wrapped his arms around that dude. Oh my God! Listen, bro. Listen, dog.
Jesus Christ!
I ain't taking nothing from Shedeur. He put it out there, but holy dog, do you know that 99.9% of other people would not have caught that ball? The catch to beat Baylor with LaJohntay Wester scooping it off the blades of grass. No knock against Shedeur. Phenomenal catch. And that's part of being a good quarterback. Yeah, quarterbacks make receivers. Receivers make quarterbacks. But God almighty, that catch against Baylor. I'm sorry. Please finish up pontificating.
I'm right there with you, Coach. You know, I live with one. I raised one. So I'm looking at we looking at it together like we just had this debate, bro. And I'm like, it's hard to tell who did what. Nobody denies that Shedeur is nice. Everybody say that like it's not a thing, but it's hard to tell who was really stirring the cup. And with Cam Ward on the flip side, I hate that we even comparing these guys, man. I hate the comparison.
I don't know why.
We got two guys that busted their ass to get where they at, and they both got drafted. We gotta stop comparing them to. But anyway,
they both are phenomenal.
Bro,
they both did a great job. They both did it. They both have woes and they both have high points, right? They both have this. They both have that. And like I said, the only reason I gave Cam the edge, I don't care if he would have played for Colorado and Shedeur played for Miami, was simply because of the escapability. I've been saying it for the longest. Had nothing to do with their throwing, their accuracy, or any of that stuff, right? I was just talking about Cam's ability to escape out of the pocket gave him the edge more than Shedeur. And that's just overall foot speed. That has nothing to do, like the quick twitch. That has nothing to do with the quarterback play. That's it, bro. That's the only thing I said. Other than that, but again, you were a hater because you didn't pick fucking Shedeur. But anyway, go ahead. Say what you got to say. I got to get ready.
And I'll also say this. Cam himself admitted, like I said the last show, bro, he said he didn't learn protections until he got to Miami.
I heard that.
That makes you a better quarterback for the league. He was moving. He was sliding protections, bro. He learned at Miami. That's why he went to bat for Restrepo that got messed over. For real, it's no way that boy should have not got drafted. That's crazy. He's... I'm not even gonna get into that because Restrepo was a problem, and he gonna show everybody what time it is in the league. But that's a story for another day. What I'm saying is, there's literal football reasons why Shedeur did not get drafted as high as everybody, all the fandom was thinking he was going to get drafted. And when you look at somebody like a Kyle McCord that played with Marvin Harrison, it's a reason why he had to stay in college another year just to get drafted in what, the 5th or 6th round?
Yeah, bro.
Because they couldn't tell who did what, bro. They don't know. Like, it's hard to tell. We know what Marvin Harrison is. Hell, he went to the league and damn near put up 1,000 yards his first year.
Bro, I'll just say this in real quick conclusion. Cam Ward said he didn't learn protections. That means he was at Incarnate Word, put up 2,200, put up 4,600 yards. Okay, level of competition. Goes to Washington State, put up 3,200, put up 3,700, right? But guess what? He had 46 sacks, 38 sacks, 33 sacks. He comes to Miami, put up 4,300, right? 4,300, and it sacks dropped to 22. That's the least he's had.
Because he learned.
He learned, like you said, and it still doesn't mean he learned it. Doesn't mean he's perfected it. But again, man, T, I appreciate you. I got to run, man. I got quite a few back here. They ready to tear Coach head off, man.
I already know, but Coach, you got to check him on some of these statistical facts, bro. Like that whole he had better stats than can't stop.
I already
stop.
Know, but why do I have to tell you that already? When we knew that, we knew that. But anyway,
what stats are they looking at? With some made up stats?
So here's a perfect example.
Come on, man.
Here's a perfect example. I'm gonna give somebody a free. Here's a perfect example of me being a hater, which I don't even do this. I could have did this to BP. What do you mean? Shedeur had a better completion percentage. Remember, BP said that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you add in, let's just say he had 50 sacks. Take 25 of those sacks was on Shedeur for not throwing it away. What does that do to your completion percentage when he just could throw the ball away? See, like that's the narrative that we're saying. Like when you try to throw in my face, well, he had 74% completion, which is great. But you got it because 25 of those sacks you could have thrown away to live to see another down and not make it 2nd and 19. So you get where I'm going?
True.
Like that's my whole thing.
Right.
If you want 74%, I get that. But it's a disingenuous way to say it because if you take in 25 more throwaways that considered are incompletions, because remember, sacks count against rushing, not passing in college. But if I take 25 more incompletions, what do you think that would have do to your completion percentage? And I'm only saying 25, just being generous, saying 50 on the offensive line and 50 on Shedeur. That has to drop you from 74%. But I didn't do that. So that's what I'm saying. So if I'm such a hater, I could have threw that in BP face, and I didn't. I let him ride. Come on, man. But anyway, I got to run. T. I got to. Much love, brother.
Hey, let me end with this though. Yeah. Listen, the real haters though are the ones that want Shedeur to start right away for this sorry ass team. I'm telling you now, as a Ravens fan, I beg y'all to start Shedeur week 2. Please throw him out there. Just throw him out there against the Ravens so we can get this dub. That's an easy game. I make easy money on DraftKings off of that, and I know Lamar's gonna go crazy because it's Shedeur, and I don't know if y'all know this or not, but Lamar real competitive. So when you see that man on the other sideline, he's gonna try to do some crazy stuff. So please start that man week 2, because those are the real haters to me that want him to start for a bad team off rip instead of letting him sit for a year, learn the game, let them get a big boy O-line with some of the new draft picks that they got in the first round and set them up for success. Just throw them out there to the wolves. Those are the haters to me that want to throw them out there.
I got you, dog. All right, let me roll, man.
And I'm out, dog.
Appreciate you.
I'm out, dog.
All right, real quick, BP. I don't know why I'm doing this, man, because I got love for you, brother. But he still had more yards passing with sacks. Your point is. My point is you're factually incorrect. Cam Ward had 4,313 yards, and Shedeur Sanders had 4,134 yards. No, I'm just saying. He had 4,134 yards. And then maybe when I took math, I don't know when you took math, that's about 200 more yards, brother. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's a big deal. It's not a big difference. But for you to come on and say he still had more passing, he did not. I'm sorry. I lost it. I got to go to you. Much love.
And he had the Biletnikoff winner and Heisman winner. Stop letting them leave Travis out of the conversation. Please.
Exactly.
Please, bro.
Much
for the love of God.
Gotta go.
They got to miss him, Travis.
I had to cut him off. Sorry, T. I love you, dog. Gotta go. Holy smoke. Like this. So when BP say I sound like a hater, because I'm not going to let you come up here and just create numbers, dog. Like, come on, BP. We better than this. But he still had more yards passing with sacks. My point is he did not. And I'm not trying to hate on Shedeur. But when you say falsehood, I can't allow it to go, bro. God dang, bro. I got it. So when I say y'all got to stop it, this is right here, BP. Y'all got to stop it, dog. God damn. Anyway, next call in the building, man. Rob from Texas, man. I appreciate it. I know you here. I'm gonna get you, buddy. Just be patient. I got quite a few on the line. I got to get to the 2-minute deal here on some of these folks here. I got DP. That's a member. I got to get him on the line. DP, talk to him.
What to do, Coach Hayes? And this DP, D as in dog, not B as in boy. Hey, Coach, I'm here for all the Cam Ward slander, man. I got a question. I got a few questions. I ain't gonna even be long. First question is, who won the head-to-head matchup when Washington State played Colorado when they had similar teams?
I don't even want to get into that. See, I don't even bring that up though. But I'm the hater. I don't
You
even
gotta
bring that up. I don't bring it up.
You don't gotta bring it up. I'm gonna answer it for you. Cam Ward won. Now, next thing. They said that none of the Miami wide receivers got drafted, and Cam Ward still went number one. So that shows he was able to do what he did with less talented wide receivers, correct? So is it fair to say that all the talent that wide receivers that Colorado had overshadowed the play of Shedeur Sanders? Because when you look at the tape, you can see 20 to 30 plus plays where wide receivers taking 5 to 10 yard passes, 60 plus yards, 50 plus yards. Jimmy Horn was doing it all season. Webster was doing it all season. And just like the caller just before, Travis Hunter was making every damn catch the name. So maybe the talent of his wide receivers did hurt him, did hurt his stock. They probably didn't believe it was just him. They probably believe it was more the wide receivers than him.
Like Colorado Knights, I'm sorry, BP. I can't listen. I'm gonna just say this last thing. Coach Hayes football, bro. When you averages out over double the sacks with the minute difference, in I guess minute. I guess is what you're saying. With the minute difference in yards, it's better. All right, dog. All right, I'm done. I can't. You're right, dog. Right. So so 2 plus 2 ain't 4 no more. So 2 plus 2 is not 4 anymore. I'm just making sure numbers. Okay, I love you, BP, dog. But my brain, the cane juice biting. Go ahead, DP.
Yeah, they gonna get it mixed up. There's a lot of BP and DP going on. But I know these Colorado fans, wow, man, you can't. It ain't no talking to somebody. It's Miami fans like that too. I ain't gonna cap. We got something just like that in our fan base. But it is what it is. Everybody has the right to their opinion. But some stuff you just gotta be realistic with and be honest with yourself. You just gotta take your fandom out of it sometimes and be realistic.
So here, can I say this? Professional risk handler. Now, here is a perfect example. Here is a perfect example, sir, of people that speak and don't know what they're talking about. This dude said, DP, your bro is high. Washington State didn't even play Colorado with Ward.
That's why you got to be realistic.
This is the stuff. This is the same reason why Tiger lost an eyebrow. This kind of bet right here. This kind of bet. This is the stuff. So when Juan, who's called in, BP, and everybody else say, Coach, why do you get frustrated? Because of this kind of ish right here. Bro is high. Washington State didn't even play Colorado with Ward. Bro, Cam Ward beat the bejesus out of Colorado.
I'm talking about putting touchdowns after touchdowns, just slanging the rock everywhere. Josh Kelly in the game was having fun.
This is the kind of stuff right here that like, bro, just do a Google search, dog, before you say something. Just do it. Don't think about it. Just Google it, dog. Fucking.
And this happened just this prior season before. Where he think Cam Ward came from? He wasn't at Miami 2 years in a row.
Okay, good job, BP. You beat me. I beat your ass betting. Stop the cap. You did. We bet $50 a game, and yes, you did. They went 9-3. I appreciate it. Wrote it off on the taxes and everything as a business expense. Much love to you, dog. I needed it. But anyway, and you won fair and square, dog. Money was paid. We don't play those games over here. But hold up, Viral Authority. I hope you're on the line. I want you to call. I think one time you called in, we had a great conversation. You be highlighting them fools and not people who make sense. You know what? Viral Authority? You right. You 100% right. No, see, one thing about me, I believe in constructive criticism. And to your point, bro, you are 100%. I got to ignore the fools, dog. But the only reason, and I think I want to be careful with this, Viral, is because somebody will run to another channel And maybe I got to stop trying to be Superman, right? Superman saved what? Metropolitan or Metropolis. Batman saves Gotham. I got to stop trying to save the damn world. That's the problem. I need to save Coach Hayes and stop trying to save the world. Superman ain't never saved Carol City. Batman ain't never came to Opalaka. You understand me? They stayed in Gotham and Superman stayed in Metropolis. Guess what I got to do?
Yeah,
I got to stay my.
Can't be Goku, cuz.
You're 100% viral authority. I thank you for that, dog. But sometimes when you ignore the fools, dog, bro, some of these people just crazy, dog. Like they don't even know what the hell they talking about. I need to start blocking people, dog, but I've never blocked anybody. But I got to give myself sanity, dog. People just get on here and just be talking. And, bro, you don't even need a Dewey Decimal System or a card catalog to figure this out. You got all the answers in your pocket, dog. In your goddamn pocket. And y'all come on here and just be talking, and you don't know the damn thing, bro. Look at this. When was Ward at WSU and they played Colorado? Shedeur was at Jackson State, bro. They never play head-to-head. You know what? Your ass the first person finna get blocked. Matter of fact, do me a favor.
No, put it on the screen.
It's on the screen.
Coach.
It's on the screen.
Pull up the facts. Show him the car facts right now. Put it on the screen for him. So he can say that you put up some AI stuff from the Google internet, that you made it all up. Put it up. I want to hear him say that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna put the box score up so he can see it.
Yeah, I want to see him say you created this. You just went to Google Editor and did all this yourself.
That's AI, coach. You didn't do that.
That's the next thing he gonna pull out his hat.
This guy here, dog. Like this guy is like, bro. Like these people here. Like y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop being high. Y'all gotta stop. I'm glad you said that, bro.
Sometimes you just gotta let them see. You gotta let them see how wrong they are. Sometimes
you're 100%, dog. Sometimes you know what? Thank you, dog. I need that's why I love my team, dog. I love the team. Let me put this on the screen for you.
You know I got you, coach. I ain't gonna let them jump you like that.
You're a professional risk taker for real, dog. You're a professional real, and I don't need you to get on people's head like this. What does that say right there? Shedeur Sanders, 6 for 10, 86 yards. Cam Ward, 8 for 13, 288. Huh? Look at the box score at the top up here. Huh? 56-14.
And what's the schools, coach? Put the schools up there.
They up there. Washington State versus Colorado. God dang, bro. He was at Jackson State, bro. They never played head-to-head. Man, go do your homework, dog. I know you still in high school. God, like, bro, what are we doing?
Man, crazy, coach. Man, I'm gonna let you move on, coach, to the next caller, man. I just want get them Cam Ward haters up off.
I appreciate it. Here, I'm gonna say this last thing. LMV, y'all know we've never done this. LMV, if this dude, professional risk taker handler, say one more thing, block him. He'd be the first dude ever get blocked, dog. Fucking idiots, bro. God, oh. Anyway, appreciate you, dog, DP. Let's rock and roll. Let the people know where they can find you, man.
Come holler at your boy at Darryl Page, Talking Sport with DP, man. Come like, share, and subscribe. Show love to you, boy. Appreciate you, coach.
Much love, brother. All right, here we go. Lexus, talk to us, Lexus. Hey, Lexus. I'm about to get an earful. I know it's coming. Go ahead, baby.
Hey, Coach Hayes, how you doing?
I'm all right. I'm a little hot right now, man. These people get under my skin, man.
You got to cut that out. Don't you be telling LMV to block anybody. You can have the knucklehead.
I don't know how to block. I don't know how to block nobody, Lexus. That's the only reason I said it. Because if I knew how to do it, I would do it. I just don't know how. If I knew how to do it, I would do it.
Don't block professional. What is he? A professional risk taker? Whatever his name was. But anyway, I have two questions. I'm going to be short, so I'm going to give my time to you. I'm trying to understand this title. Did something happen? Because I don't follow this crap. You know I don't. as far as mini camps and all that foolishness. So did something happen with Shedeur and Dilly, or are you just saying that because they both on the same team trying to get the job?
No, they okay. So to help you out, and see, this is why I like you, Lexus. I really do, because you come and you ask questions. You don't come to. So they had a rookie mini camp. So for all of the rookies that got drafted, they bring them in to do a camp. The veteran players are not there, and so because Dillon is a rookie, Shedeur is a rookie, they were at rookie mini camp. Cool, right? And like Juan said, I didn't bring Dillon Gabriel threw 3 interceptions. Cool, right? I understand it's rookie mini camp. I don't know what Shedeur did. Again, I'm looking at clips. We're not looking at it. Ain't like well off media. And that's another thing. People got to stop taking clips and making it. There's no context to these clips. You understand what I'm saying? But anyhow, regardless, that's what it was. So now everyone's saying that Shedeur is QB1, which is that's the case. That's great, right? So what I was saying was in the title was I said praise and strays. Dillon Gabriel is catching stray bullets, but really he didn't do nothing. He just got drafted before Shedeur. It ain't his fault he got drafted before. It ain't like he went in there and said, hey, y'all give me half the money and as long as y'all draft. Like the dude was sitting there, he got drafted before. So he's catching strays and Shedeur's catching praise. That's all I was saying. And so now everybody's taking shots at Dillon Gabriel, for Shedeur, which is fine. I get it. I understand. But that's really the whole thing about it.
Okay. So Dillon Gabriel is evidently getting hate, if you will, because he was drafted first.
Because people feel, and I feel as well, that Shedeur Sanders is a better quarterback overall than Dillon Gabriel. But apparently the Browns may not have felt that way, right? But because the Browns didn't feel that way, Dillon Gabriel is catching like nothing but strays around here. And I understand they're fans of Shedeur, not Dillon Gabriel, so I get it. And he went to Oregon, so you know how Colorado fans feel about Oregon. So I get that.
Right. Well, I don't think even Cleveland, if they got any sense at all, which they may not because they do suck as a football team and have since Jesus was a baby. So they may not have no good sense. But if they do have any at all, I think they got sense enough to know Shedeur is a better quarterback than Dillon Gabriel. However, I'm not going to say what I think I heard you were talking about with some callers, not you saying, but some callers or some people saying that Dillon Gabriel just sucked as a quarterback. I won't say that because I don't agree with that. I did watch him play. I actually like Oregon personally myself, nothing against him. And the child don't suck. I wouldn't say that.
Not at all.
And so I disagree with anybody that's saying that. And the other thing, here's my question for you, Coach Hayes. I'm going to hang up and answer this question.
Okay.
Cleveland, speaking of Cleveland, they have sucked for so long till it's really getting embarrassing right now. So I'm trying to understand. I want you to put your coach hat on and tell me what Cleveland needs to get them on a right track. What are they missing? What the heck is going on?
I'm going to tell you this. Cleveland is no different than Miami was, no different than the Dallas Cowboys. The administration is god-awful. Any program that is bad, usually is, if they're bad consistently, is because the upper brass is terrible. Right? That's usually what's bad, right? When you have teams that are bad but have talent, they either picking wrong coaches. They do think their procedures are bad. There's no way in the world the Cleveland Browns. I don't know if y'all seen that. I'll pull it up here in a second. The Tim Couch jersey with all of the doggone quarterback. They've had 40 quarterbacks. Let me see what QB's on it. They've had let me see what they said they have. 40 something quarterbacks since Tim Couch. Bro, look at this. I don't know if you can see the screen. I know it's a little delay, Lexus. But look at this. Look at this jersey. Look at this shirt. They've had Couch, Ty Detmer, Wynn, Peterson, Holcomb, Garcia, McCown, Dilfer, Fry. Bro, look at all. There's nowhere in the world you got all these quarterbacks. That means there's something wrong with the organization. Can you see that now? I don't know if you can see that or not.
Yes, I can.
It's God all. Look at this. Look at all of those quarterbacks. And they haven't even added Shedeur and Dillon Gabriel on there. So you said to put my coaching hat on, their organization is terrible. I like the way it's run, right? I think it's bad. If you look at Washington, shout out to T from Baltimore, Dan Snyder leaves, and things kind of change around. You know, I hate that Shedeur went there. I had to be honest. I just hate he went there because I don't think the organization is good for him. Right? Like, I don't think one thing about being a player in the NFL, you got to find the right fit too. And I don't think the organization is good for him or any damn quarterback. Like, that's just me. But that's just me. That's just me, bro. But I hope that answers your question.
That does. I just wanted to kind of shift it a little bit because we're having all this argument and debate about Shedeur. I'm gonna say this and hang up.
Mm-hmm.
I love Shedeur mostly because of his father, honestly, and I follow him because of his father. I'm a fan of his father more so than I am him, to be frank. And I wish him nothing but the best. I don't care who he end up playing for. I hope he get the hell out of Cleveland as well because I can't stand to watch him when I'm watching NFL football. However, I'll probably watch him because he's there if he gets to play and see what happens. However, I am not throwing no pity party because he ended up getting drafted how he got drafted. Do I think it was foul? Yes. Do I believe he's the first player that ever happened to? Not even close. So get the hell over it. Get out there and play.
Talk to him, Lex.
Everybody that thought you was the 144 pick wrong. That's it. That end might drop till we get past it, please.
God,
this boy is filthy rich. He look good as hell. Ain't nobody feeling sorry for him. Play ball. That's all I got to say. And I'm done. I'll listen to the rest.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Alexis. Damn, she said it best, man. Like I get it. People be fanned out. But damn, bro. Like, I guess don't put the cart before the horse guy, man. Let Shedeur just play. Let him go get acclimated to the NFL. And let him go have fun. Like, let him go learn the offenses and all of that good stuff and all of that. Viral, please call in, dog. I think we're going to have a good conversation. I don't know if you're at work or you can't talk or whatever, but please. All right, here we go. I'm running through this. Anonymous on the line. Talk to us.
What's good, Coach?
What's up? Who we speaking with?
Yo, this Kneebone.
Kneebone? All right.
Yeah, it's Kneebone calling from Macon, Georgia.
All right, man. Kneebone. I got a neck bone. Now I got a knee bone. It's connected to my thigh bone.
What's good? What's good?
What's
Yo,
up,
make the case for me, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me how Shedeur is a world-class quarterback.
I don't think anybody says he's a
a veteran quarterback.
A veteran quarterback? Well, I don't understand what you're asking me.
I'm seeing, the CU Buffs fans, Coach, they saying he a veteran quarterback. He different from the other quarterbacks. He like cream of the crop, once in a decade, once in a generation. Can you make the case, Coach?
I don't know if I can make the case about that. I think he's a NFL quarterback. I think he can play the game so far from the physical aspect of it.
But is he a average quarterback? Is he a exceptional quarterback?
I think he's above average. I don't know if he's exceptional in the NFL. We've seen that's why I'm saying I'm not a cart before the horse guy. We've seen exceptional quarterbacks in college crap the bed. Nobody knew who the hell Josh Allen was from Wyoming and becomes exceptional. Let's be honest. We could call a spade a spade. There's 159 people in this chat right now. How many of y'all can say
Right.
y'all? How many of y'all can say y'all watch Patrick Mahomes play at Texas Tech? Come on. So my point is, could I speculate? Sure, but that's not me. I'm very black and white. I'm 2 + 2 is 4. So I don't like to give answers prior to, not because I don't want to be wrong, because I don't know if I'm right or wrong. Let's see what he does. Once he gets on the NFL stage, then I can make an assumption. Right now, he's learning the rookie camp. He did extremely well. That's a big plus for him. But let's see what it looks like as you go through. And like you say, that dude came on there with the offensive coordinator, say, look, bro, these dudes hit a little different on this league now. So you better be watching these seams. We got to watch these seams. So there are guys who played extremely well in college, lit it up, and crapped the bed in the pros. And there's guys that played extremely well in college and lit it up in the pro. And there's guys that we never heard of and light it up in the pro. So that's all. I really can't make a case for your argument.
I can get with you, Coach, I can get with you on the wait and see aspect of it. Like, I mean, Tom Brady, he went late in the draft and ended up being the GOAT. But,
who would have saw that coming? Let's be real. Who would have saw that coming? Anybody saw that coming?
Right. Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
But we have seen, I just want to say we have seen something, Coach. We've seen how he got drafted.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard you on the show before, the NFL is a business, these teams is a business.
Mm-hmm.
I think we could assume safely from that these teams are not all that impressed with Shedeur at this point.
They very well be. That could be a fair statement. Like, here's what people have to understand. How do I say this? People, and I keep bringing this distraction word up, but when you deal with quarterbacks, and a lot of people gave Cam Newton a lot of flack, and I hated that they did that because I thought Cam Newton gave him sound advice. He said, bro, you're not a DB, a cornerback. You're a quarterback. They have to move different, right? It may be an old school way of thinking, but again, that's their business. That's their company. I bring up Cam Newton, for example. What did the owner tell Cam Newton? Well, hey, you got any of them tattoos, boy? No, sir. All right, now keep it that way. Let me tell you something. Right. I'm going to just say this, and I'm going to call a spade a spade. People may not like this. The majority of these owners, follow me now. The majority of these owners was throwing tomatoes at lunch counters, dog. What I'm saying is they were of that age. Hear me out. They're 80, they're 75, 80, 90. Like, they're old, bro. They have a certain...
You're probably right.
Bro, they have a certain way in which they see things and how they want their team perceived. Did you notice Cam Ward didn't have them crazy wicks until the very end of his career? Cam was clean cut, right? Until the end of his career, he started growing the wicks out.
It sounds like though you saying that Shedeur is suffering from some combination of being black, talented, and arrogant.
Probably so. And what I'm trying to tell you, I'm not making an excuse. I'm telling you, you can't. I want people to understand this is their company. There's only 32 of these companies that exist in this 32 franchises that exist in this company. There's only 32 that exist in this company. You don't have to work for any of them. You have to understand this. You don't have to work for any of them. They choose you. You don't choose them. Can I tell you this? Most of these guys who own these NFL franchises, this is play money for them. These are multi-billionaires. The Cleveland Browns suck and they're worth $4.5 billion. That means they're still a profitable company. You don't have to win a damn thing and still be profitable. So this is play. This is play money for them. And hold on, I'm gonna say this last piece. I'll say this last piece, and you got it. one thing about people of power, they will lose money to not relinquish power. Because 20 million, 30 million, 60 million, 100 million. Bro, think about what I'm about to say to you. $500 million is a lot of money to us. But when you got 30 billion, 10 billion, 5 billion, do you know that you need, I just want to put it in math perspective and I'm done. And you got it. You need $999 million plus one more million to make $1 billion. And these people got 10 of those. Dog, they got 10 of those, dog.
I don't. Yeah, you're right. If the goods are there and it can make them another billion, it can make them another. Look at those jersey sales.
Sir, those jersey sales is
they interested in the money.
They buy.
They buying assets in their mind.
Hey, how much we made in jerseys? Hey, let's go buy a yacht with that. Whatever. Like this is play money to them. Because can I tell you this? If the Cleveland Browns and all these other organizations, just hear this. If they were losing money, they would do things a lot different. If they were losing money, the NFL owners that are losing would do things a lot different. Just being one of 32 of these programs, you're profitable, bro. You're profitable. Of course you want to win and win Super Bowls. But
yeah, you're right, for sure.
They're profitable.
Well, let's hope he do see the field and he play and it's good. The signs to me, coach, I haven't seen nothing that will convince me of that yet. He was playing with the best player in college football with Travis Hunter.
But I don't knock him for that though. Can I say this? But here's the difference. Can I say this? I don't knock Shedeur for that, brother. Guess what? The same reason
I don't knock him for it neither.
No, but I'm saying, but I don't knock Cam Ward for having a better offensive line. Like that's where people make a mistake. That's where people make a mistake. I don't knock Shedeur for having the best player in college football on his team. Y'all didn't hear me bring that up tonight. Man, the only reason Shedeur good is because he had Travis Hunter. Never said that. Even when my man brought up that,
I'm not saying all that, coach. I'm saying Travis Hunter clearly has talent. He clearly has skills. He clearly is ready to start. He was rated as such by the league as a whole, and he was drafted as such.
Fair.
Shedeur has a lot of fans and a lot of people who want to see him do well. But I haven't seen that from Shedeur in the same way I've seen that from Travis Hunter.
But can I say this? And I got to run after this. Travis Hunter's approach to the draft and Shedeur's approach to the draft were two totally different paths. Two totally different paths. I want people to understand that. Travis Hunter's approach to the draft and Shedeur's approach, and I'm not blaming Shedeur the player. I'm just talking about Shedeur and the camp approach to the draft were two totally different things. The way in which his father said certain things, I'm just calling. Listen, people can get mad at this, but again, how are you going to tell billionaires how to spend their money? And people try to make this comparison to Arch Manning. The difference between Deion Sanders and Arch Manning, Deion Sanders going on talk shows talking about where he ain't going. I know behind the curtain. I know how it worked. Arch Manning came on draft day and said, we ain't going to the Chargers. They never went on no tour. They didn't talk about, and I'm not mad that Prime was supporting his son, and I understand that. But everything doesn't need to be said. Everything ain't a soundbite, bro. Because these billionaires will show you better than they can tell you. This is what I'm trying to tell people. You could be mad all you want. Most of us can't name the 32 owners in the NFL. We can't even name the 32 owners of the 32 teams. We can't.
Right.
But the difference is you going on, was it Tamron Hall? I know how it worked behind the curtain. I know. Okay, I'm going to show you better than I can tell you. You think you know how I work behind the curtain. Watch this. That's it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that's the sole reason, but I think that's, in my opinion, I think that's a part of why he dropped to where he dropped. I also think it may be strategy.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Yeah. Man, I got to run, bro. I got a couple other people on this line, brother.
All right, partner, you be easy.
Yes, sir. Much love.
See you, fan. Yep.
All right.
Peace.
Yep. All right, here we go. Give me 1 second here. Hey, I told you the dude will be back here all day. Watch this. Action.
Okay, you sit up there talking about you try to give up something like you know something. You don't know Jack. Well, I'm telling you, and don't block that dude. I'm telling you, he should have.
Hey, shout out to old school. I tell you the dude call in every show. Y'all think I be playing? Shout out to old school in the building, man. Go get your teeth fixed, man. Huh? And say cheese. Get out of here, man. Watch this.
You don't know Jack, boy. Anybody listen to you is a fool. Mute me.
He say anybody listen to me is a fool, but he done been back here we've been on 1 hour and 56 minutes. Hey, this dude like the furniture, man. Hey. All right, I'm coming, man. I got Google Man on the line. Google Man, talk to me.
What's up, Coach?
Hold up, real quick. I'm getting ready to lock it after Google Man. If you want to call in now. I'm locking it right after Google Man. All right, talk to me.
Man,
damn, Rob from Texas just hung up. Rob, you got to call back in. Huh? Go ahead.
A damn fool. Anyway, man, I'm talking, man, Coach. You know these Colorado's, Sanders, his kid, bro. They're gonna be. I can see this coming the whole year. Now, the one caller. First of all, I want to say what's up from T. What's up from T from Baltimore. He's a cool ass dude. Now he right. He was dead right. I remember back when Johnny Manziel got drafted for the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
And the dude at my job, he playing a parlay, trying to put some money down. I told him. So I remember he didn't start. John Manziel started like in the 7th or 8th game was the first start. I told they're playing. I think they're finna go against the Bengals. I told him, look, dude, he's still a rookie. Mm-hmm. Most rookie quarterbacks really don't know what they're doing out there because the defense so fast and everything moving so fast. Believe me, I told dude, I watched it. I'm tired of this shit. He didn't believe me.
Mm-hmm.
And so he took the Browns talking about John Manziel. And that's the same thing gonna happen. First of all, I really don't think Shedeur Sanders gonna start week 2. But if he do start week 2, oh my God. The Ravens gonna feast on that young man because I don't think he's ready to start in the NFL. No. He can probably beat everybody out in the count. But still, if they playing him in week 2, dude, it's not gonna look good. I don't care if they playing in Cleveland or Baltimore. Anyways, but another thing is this.
Mm-hmm.
I have no dog in the fight. I keep on trying to tell you, well, the thing about me is this with college football. I told you before, I love so many teams for college football, but now of course, my number one team is the Cowboys. But if college football goes, I love them all. Now, so with that being said,
mm-hmm.
Cam Ward is a better quarterback than to me, he should have came out the board first as a quarterback, and then Shedeur Sanders. Plain and simple. Now, thing about it is this. Now that woman you had on, she said it right. All these weird ass dudes on these first of all, these too old to be on this dude job shop like this. Just tripping. And that lady said it right on the end. What she said was, you done got drafted. Now just go ball out because I don't know why Coach, bro. You gonna have a time with these.
It's cult
with
mentality,
these Colorado.
It's crazy.
With these Colorado Cleveland Brown fans, bro. I can see it right now. Oh yeah, nothing. And another thing, I just so happily came across what's the name? So what's the dude? So what's the dude on? What's the dude name? What's the dude name? The dude name that used to do the show with Chico. Now Chico has the one dude. Believe you me, I have not been watching this show at all. But for some reason, I came across this show this past Saturday or Sunday. This one dude came on the show. Now it was the clip. The clip had to be like a 20-25 minutes long. It was him. Him and I think the dude named Uncle Jerome, and then it was him, Uncle Jerome, and his eagle.
All right, forget who it is. Tell us what happened. Tell us what happened.
This what happened. This one dude from the booth. This dude lost his bro. He kept on going on and on about the city, and he felt like, I get it. He felt like what he trying to tell us was this. He felt like that Shedeur Sanders should have been selected in the first round for the Saints. Shit didn't happen. But the thing about it was this though. He went on and on for about 10-15 minutes and he was so butthurt. Man, the city. And so another thing is this.
Google man, what the hell are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking about. What do you help me? Help me, God.
What I said was on Chico's show. One dude came on this past weekend. First of all, I said I really not been watching this show. But this one dude that came on the platform. This dude was a cook, but the dude seemed like he about 35 years old. Bright skinned dude. He came on the show talking about the city of New Orleans is really hurt right now because the Saints didn't draft Shedeur Sanders, and everybody but hurt because, bro. And what I'm trying to tell you is this.
Yeah, let's get to it. Tell me. Yeah, let's get to it.
What I'm telling you, I'm already told you. All these Colorado, with all these Shedeur fans, they're gonna be tripping with you for the next 6 months, dude. Like it's now.
Google man, hold on, you gotta wrap this up, but let me do this right quick. We've been doing this for $9.99. Shout out to Google man in the building. Y'all clap it up for my dog in the building, man. Google man, he part of the team up here, man. All right, that's enough clapping. All right, Google man, what's your last line? Let's get it in. I gotta clear these lines up. Yeah.
What I have realized is this: all the interceptions, all those stolen bags he made in baseball, Deion Sanders, I'm talking about. That right there come back to hunt him because he's so great. He was so great that these fans like all his fans and his son. What I'm trying to say this, like he was so great that his son. I really don't think his son gonna live up to him at all. And man, at the end of the day, I feel real bad for his son because his fans are not understanding. Like he good, but Jesus Christ, they making this kid out to be fucking Johnny Unitas and Brett Favre right than one.
All right, appreciate it, dog.
Cause I just see you on television. I'm just now looking at you. You're a fool, man. You're a fool. You're a fool, man. Oh my God, you're a fool with that shit, man.
I love you.
Right on, Coach
Google,
D,
man. I love you,
man.
dog. We
So
got to
it's-
run. All right. I love you,
Right
Google,
on.
man. We're going to make it happen. We in the back, baby. All right. Much
Yeah.
love, dog. Hey, you know what, though? You're a Cowboy fan. That's the problem. That's the problem right now.
Nah, that ain't the problem.
That's a problem right there. See, look at you. That's the problem. Much love, Google, man. I got to run, buddy. All right.
Yeah.
Shout out. I don't know what Rob from Texas is. You better call in because you're about to miss out. All right. I'm going down the line here. I don't know. 0861. Talk to us. Call us. Give us your name. Where you calling from?
Nah, that ain't the problem.
0861 going once. 0861 going twice. 0861. We out of here,
Hey,
baby.
look here.
Oh, you right on time. You almost missed it. Talk to us, man. What's up? 0861. Almost missed it, boy.
They got going on with Shedeur. They gonna do what they gonna do.
Okay.
He gonna show out, and she gonna show up and show out. That's all I gotta say.
I love it. Though. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Show up, show out, baby. That's all you could do. That's it. Anything else? You got to cut your TV down in the back.
That's all I gotta say. I'm gonna say that, and I'm gonna be gone.
Man, much love to you,
Like
dog. What's your name, brother? What's your name?
On.
You can't listen to the TV and talk to me. Listen to your phone only, because it's about a 10-second delay.
I know it's 10-second delay.
Okay, so you got to cut your TV down in the back. We can hear it coming through your phone.
Okay, no, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put it on mute.
Mm-hmm.
Daryl Williams.
Okay, Daryl. All right, man. Well, you said that's all you got to say with it. That's what it is, dog. Show up, show out, make it happen. Take somebody's spot. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
His last name Sanders.
Last name Sanders. Huh? It ain't Colonel Sanders. It ain't Bob Sanders. Huh? It ain't Bernie Sanders. It's Shedeur Sanders. I'm loving it. Much love, dog.
All right. Appreciate you.
Anytime, brother. Good patience right there. Hey, somebody say old school was banned. I told you I don't block people. I don't block people. But old school keep coming back like the plague.
Yeah, you just don't pay them. That's all. You just don't pay them. You act like you don't know them no more. That's what it is. You don't answer their calls. I know you. Boy, I'll tell you, boy, you something else. Yeah, you's a bum still though. It still make you a bum just because you don't block nobody. Don't make you not be a bum.
Hey, for a dude that hate me so much in old school, for you to be back there for 2 hours and 7 minutes on the phone, y'all clap it up for old school. All right, get him out of here. All right, let's go. I'm closing the lines right now.
The conference has been locked.
I just locked it. All right, here we go. I don't know which call is what 9705. Call or talk to us. Give us your name. Where you calling from?
Coach Hayes.
Yes, sir. Who are we speaking to?
This is Kai, man, from the Kai and K Show. How you doing, brother? Hey, look.
Hold on. You said Kai from? I'm sorry. It broke up. Kai from where?
Kai and K Show.
Kai and K. Is that a
hey,
a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
It's called
Look,
Kai. Hold on, because I like to
I-
follow. Hold on, bro. I got you. You got time. Kai and K Show. What kind of channel is that? Because I like to follow new stuff.
Well, we do everything, man. We do sports. We do social, social, anything that's going on in social events. We do a little bit of everything, man. I'll put the link in your chat for you.
It probably won't let you do it because you're not a mod. So let's just spell it out for people right quick. Kai and K Show, because I let it get love.
KHY and KAE.
Okay. All right.
Speak up on it. Actually, we just Kai and K speak up on it. That's the name of the show.
All right, love it, man. So talk to us, man. What's on your mind, brother?
Anyways, bro, look, I believe Shedeur is in a quarterback graveyard. That's what I believe, though.
I agree with that.
I believe that from the time that they drafted him, right? I don't think he's going to get a fair shake there. That's just my personal belief. All these people who seem to think that a guy that's drafted in the 5th round is going to get a fair shake with there's four other quarterbacks or 3 other quarterbacks on the roster ahead of him. Is I think delusional. You know what I'm saying? There's not enough reps, first of all, for him to be able to get a look. Now, if they're smart, right? If they're smart, I believe this is what they should do is scratch Flacco and Pickens and let Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur get the majority of reps to see because they got first round picks for next year and see if they, by chance have something for the future. And then they don't have to draft a quarterback for next year. But they're not that smart to do that because if they were, they would have never drafted Gabriel in front of Shedeur in the first place. So I'll just say that to begin with. I don't know why. I don't believe Dillon Gabriel. First of all, he's left-handed, and he's 5'9". So he's not going to. He's a backup at best. I think that's my personal.
I mean, I'm not comparing this guy to. I'm not comparing Dillon Gabriel, but Michael Vick was left-handed. So I'm trying to understand what does the left-handedness got to do with it?
Well,
because I'm left-handed.
It's the revolution. It's the revolutions on the ball. Most of the time, they don't like left-handers because they don't. They said that you can, the way that the ball spins. You know what I'm saying? That they can almost tell. When the ball is in the air, what how the trajectory of the ball and how he's throwing the ball. So that most people don't like. I know Steve Young was a lefty too, and he was good too. But most lefties, when they do have them, they're exceptional. And I don't think he's an exceptional guy. First of all, like I said, he's 5'9".
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I don't think, regardless. I don't think his problem is going to be thrown across the middle of the field because of his height. Unless he's going to play the Russell Wilson game where you got to run around all over the damn field or do what the brother do it over in Arizona, Kyler Murray. You know what I'm saying? He's not that athletic. First of all, I don't believe he is.
Okay.
I don't think he's gonna have no success. But anyways, I like your point of view though, dog. And these guys that you be having on they make the show. I get that you want to block some of these guys, but they do make your show because it is hilarious how wrong these guys be.
I'm a paper tiger, dog. I ain't gonna block nobody. I just be like, I literally got fed up with like a guy gonna tell me that Shedeur and Cam Ward didn't even go against each other, and they gonna double down.
They play each other. I know. I'm like, damn, was I tripping? Because I know I watched that game when he lit Colorado up.
but Kai, that's my point. You start you hear so much of this, you start double guessing yourself. Like, wait a minute, did he play? Did they play each other? Am I wrong? Like, I'm telling you, and you notice he ain't come back. He ain't said another comment in the section. And that's the thing about these people. But to Viral Authority's point, he's 100% right. Stop showcasing the foolishness. But the foolishness, it just be sticking out, man. I'm like New Jack City. Man, it just be calling me, Scotty. It just be calling me, man. I can't help but pull it out sometime, man. It just be calling me, Scotty.
Well, it said, where would we be without our haters, bro? That's how they go. You know what I mean? So they're part of the show too. So you got to have them there. You know what I mean? Like I said, don't block them. Don't let your moderators push them out. You know what I mean? Because they do make the show. I mean, that's what it is. They said, but here's to the point though. If you argue with a fool, what does that make you? So I would say that too. So.
A fool arguer. Shout out to Jesse Lee. Hey, you know what I'm talking about, the Jesse Lee Peterson clip?
Yeah.
Hey, when you argue with a fool, what does it make you? A fool maker.
It makes a fool maker, yeah.
It made me a fool maker.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Man, but Kai, check this out, man. I'm gonna pull up your stuff. Maybe LMV may be in the building. Amazing. Shout out to LMV in the building. She may pull your stuff up, man. We put on the stage. We always support, man, people. I don't know what your channel's about. Like you said, you told me. I trust it. We're going to go with it, man. And I'll check you out, brother, man. But I appreciate it. Let me rock on.
I appreciate it. I'm just getting started, but we're picking up.
Yeah, you got to start from somewhere, baby. I'm with you, man. You got to support it in me.
All right.
Let's go.
Absolutely. All right, brother.
For sure. All right, real quick. Daryl E. Williams becomes a member at YouTube for 1 month. Y'all clap for the Daryl E. Williams. All right, we're knocking this thing down here. 8277 on the line. 8277. Call or talk to us. Give us your name. Where you calling from?
Hey, Coach, it's BP again. Just real quick, bro.
Okay.
So listen, I was messing with you about the yards. I was just kind of poking fun with you. But yeah, I get it. Nobody's really trying to compare the two of them together. I'm happy for both of them brothers because they're in the league. But for some of your Again, listen. When you come over to Bucks fans areas, I don't recall. Maybe I missed it. Maybe you got one enemy there, but the thing that I kind of picked up on your audience is they kind of come at Colorado fan, but I'm gonna leave it alone. But all that aside, I think what I was talking about earlier is I think where people like me who kind of get their dander up about this situation, I hear you loud and clear that the owners get to decide what they want to do. Fair
Right.
enough, right?
That's
They
it.
own the team,
Mhm.
right? And so what I'm saying, it would be the equivalent of, let's say, for instance, you're in a bad neighborhood, your house keeps getting robbed, right? It's a fact of life in terms of where you are and where you live. Either you got to move or you got to make a change. You got to get out in the community and do what you got to do. So I think for most Colorado fans that are sane, it's a recognition of, okay, there's a problem. Even though there are other folks that may have gone through it, it happens to be one of our own. So from that perspective, it's like, okay, how do we solve that problem? So I don't want to sit here and rehash that, but I think that's where you get some of the enthusiasm,
I can
for
agree.
lack of a better word, and folks saying, well, okay, I get it, this happened to other people, but this is our guy, and we got to do something about it. What can we do? And it happens to be a lot of us, right? So from that perspective, yeah, I'll grant you that there's some people on extremes of how it is that they deal with that. But nonetheless, I don't know the guy you just talked, not the guy before that, Google file, whatever his name is.
Google man in
I
the
don't want to
building.
talk about the guy. No, Google man. Yeah. So we come from all walks of life in various part of the U.S. and we have different experiences. So I'm just going to use his accent that I picked up and just assume I'm not coming directly at him,
Mhm.
but I've been in areas like that where the expectation for things to happen is different from my experience. So for instance, I've lived in the East Coast, I've lived in the South,
Mhm.
right? So you might say, okay, I just roll off my back because I see this all the time. Whereas people on the East Coast or in other areas where they like to think things have changed, they might get a little indignant about some stuff that you might let roll off your back, right?
Mhm.
I've been to South Florida and places like that and been, had my mouth wide open about, whoa, they still doing this here, right?
Mhm.
So I think that's where you're getting some of the pushback, at least putting myself in that category when I say it's not just about football. It's like, I thought the world changed. What are we doing right now, right?
But can I
So
say this,
acknowledging
BP?
full-
And I
Go
don't
ahead.
want to
Go
go
ahead.
back because I got a few callers, but I still think that's unfair.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you why I think that's unfair.
Sure.
I think what I think you're talking about, and we can call a spade here on this channel. I think you're still thinking of race. Is that fair?
Not necessarily. It's a business, and people got the right to think about the way they think when they run their
Okay.
business. And for all intents and purposes, there are African American people who run businesses who will hire African American people because they feel comfortable around.
No, but I'm
I'm not
talking.
gonna call it
I know,
racist,
but I'm
that's
strictly
what it
talking.
is.
But I'm strictly talking NFL. You're saying I thought we've come further than this from what we've seen with Shedeur. I
Well,
think
again, some of the undertones I think you talked about, some of the owners who used to throw tomatoes at counters. Yeah, I picked up what you were putting down,
yeah,
and that's a racist thing.
it is.
Right? So there are elements of that in the decision making. Is it all that? No, I won't say that.
No.
But there's an expectation for what they've seen based on how they came up or where they came up.
Mhm.
Like you said, they're 80 years old. The demographic may be in the areas that I'm talking about, and it may be perfectly normal for everybody in that area to have that experience.
And
When you get out beyond your area or your age, I'm sorry.
No, but here's I just want to say this, BP.
Yep.
What and where I think the miscalculation came from was by the position. If Shedeur,
You lost. Oh,
Yeah.
hold on, help me out. You lost me on that. Say
I
that
know,
again.
but I think the problem came by the position. If Shedeur was a wide receiver, no problem.
Mhm.
If he was a running back, if he was a DB, but when you are a quarterback, and this is why I felt I actually was a little bit upset with people when they went after Cam Newton the way they did. He literally played the
Right.
position. He had literally gone through that
Right.
process. He literally was an outspoken, flamboyant type guy, and I don't mean I'm not talking about a sexual connotation. I'm talking about outgoing, outspoken, bigger than life type personality. And he went through that. He walked that walk. And when he gave his advice to Shedeur and said, what he said, I'm a misphrase. I know I'm gonna misquote him, but in essence, basically he's saying, he said, outwork, but don't do the clout, something about clout. I know I'm jacking it up. I thought it was sound advice because not only is he been there, he actually played that position, and he went with an owner who walked that walk.
Right. No, listen, I'm gonna agree with you, but here's the thing: timing is everything, right? When did he give him that message? Was it prior to the draft when he was standing on the sidelines, partying with him, having fun with him, and doing all the things he was doing with him? Or was it after the fact when he got the answer that he didn't like, and then it seemed like it's a little bit of piling on?
Well, here's what I'll say to you.
I don't know if it,
no, finish your point. Finish your point. I'm sorry. Finish your point.
No, I mean, again, I think even around that time it was very close. That's when Antonio, what's his name, jumped in the conversation and got real indignant with it, right? So you got to look at the timing of it in terms of everything that's going on at that time. You know, again, I saw Cam Newton on the side of the field with Shedeur during his games. I don't remember one time him saying, "Hey man, you're a little bit too flashy. Hey, you need to tune this up. You need to tune that out." He was sitting on the sidelines playing football with him online and doing a bunch of other stuff. So again, the timing means everything in terms of the situation. I'm sure you can agree, right?
I would agree, but hold on. I will agree, but there's one caveat. The difference is who your father is. Your father played in the league. He understands this. So I'll just make this quick comparison. If Cam Newton was talking to Cam Ward, I will 1,000% agree with you. But when Cam Newton is, as your point, speaking after the fact to Shedeur Sanders, you got arguably the best defensive back, if not maybe the best football player, you know, to some. I still think Lawrence Taylor is the best football player, but to some people in the world, so you may assume he already got a good camp. I'm just saying that may be advising him. And my last piece I'll say to this is, remember, I'll just say what I had to say to this, because I don't know everything that Cam said, but remember, Cam and Shedeur had spoke before about some things that were kind of missaid. You understand what I'm saying? Remember they said they talked it out. I don't know what that was.
I got some opinions about
no. I don't know what that is.
I got some opinions about that, but I don't want to bring that up because I got some strong feelings about an exchange that they had. But I will say this.
Okay.
I 100%, 150% agree with you about his father misstepping and saying some things that I think that was what dumped his rating. Mm-hmm. His father saying that he was going to do this, that, and the third, and going on the talk show talking about he knew what was going to happen behind the scenes. I didn't think it had nothing to do with what Shedeur did. It was what he said during that time, and I believe you. And they said, "Oh, really? We'll show you." Mm-hmm. And again, I don't know if you want to call over the what's the name show, but I was a firm believer that they were going to let him fall out the bottom of the draft, and then maybe some phone calls came in. I don't know what happened, but they decided they were going to get him.
Well, I don't think so. I think the Browns calculated, and that was their last pick anyway in the 5th round. They didn't have any more picks, and they said if he's gonna sit there, get him for cheap.
Sure, and part of me believes it's a financial decision where you got Deshaun Watson in that $230 million bill that they're dealing with. They're like, okay, let's take a shot. Maybe we can get him for the cheap. Who knows? I'd like to think positively like that, but I think someone said it earlier. The Browns organization is just horrible for a quarterback to go to in the first place. And they're mismanaging and they don't make decisions well. But at the same time, it just seems weird and odd that they would get him after already getting a quarterback when they got a full quarterback room. But we've heard all of the reasons why everybody thinks that is. In one case, they don't really have the talent. They got a lot of second string and third string quarterbacks.
Well, we'll find out.
Okay, fine. I'll grant you that.
And I'll say this, BP, because I got other people. I got to get them. Here's what I'll say to that, BP. Much love. But here's what I will say. Hey, it's the Browns too. They don't always make great sound decisions, right? I'm not saying picking up Shedeur is a bad decision, but their process is bad. We've seen that over the years. We've seen that over the decades, right? And they're not the only organization like that. But to their credit, they gave him an opportunity. So I give them applause for that. They gave him opportunity because Pittsburgh passed on him, New York passed on him, the Saints passed on him. Those were the programs that were looking at him or he was projected to go to, and all of those guys passed on him. And so at least the Browns gave him that opportunity. And for some reason, we still blasting the Browns because they let them go to the fifth. But we ain't blasting the Saints. We ain't blasting Pittsburgh. We ain't blasting.
If you had time, I would.
No, no.
If you had time, I would. We don't have time for all that. But
I
will say this, and then I'll get off. Hey, listen, just a friendly bet to all of the naysayers, the guys who called in earlier. You know I'm about my word. If he gets on the field, I got $100 bet for anybody want to take it that he will in his first game either match or beat Cam. $100 bet. Anybody.
Cam Ward?
That's a bet.
Okay.
Yeah, first game only. I ain't talking about the whole season because he may not get to play the whole season.
And you know why I could never take that? You right.
Go game for game.
All right. I could never take that bet because it's more than them. But, man, much love, BP. I got to run, buddy. I got to.
All right, bro.
Peace.
Thanks.
I am Shayla. What's up? I mean, we may never know exactly why he slipped. Thank you, God. Why the women? Hey, shout out to the women tonight. The women tonight are the ones that's making all the sense. We may never know exactly why he slid in the draft. Let's just call it a mix of factors and move on. That's all I've been saying. We don't know. We could all assume. Nobody has definitive answers unless you're in that room. I'm going to add another one, Shayla, to the story. How about the Browns say, nobody else wants him. Let's take him in the 5th round so we can get him for cheap. Cut Dillon. Cut Pickett. Let's keep an old Joey Flacco. Right? So we got him for a couple, what do you make? $4 million in 4 years or whatever? So $1 million a year versus paying all that other money. Who knows? But the ladies, shout out to the ladies in the building. Huh? Shout out to the ladies. All right, here we go. We're rolling through this thing. I got last caller 6503. But you know I got the furniture in the building. Y'all holler at them. Action.
Hey, you know, they got him because of the fact that, not because it was cheap, it was because of the fact that the owner made the decision to get him. They knew they were going to get him anyway, but they didn't want to get him.
Ain't nobody hear what you talking about, man. Get out of here, man, old school. Get that dude out of here. All right, here we go. 6503, call and talk to us. Give us your name. Where you calling from? Talk to me.
What up?
What's going on? Who is it? 6503.
Yeah, what up? This Viral Authority, man.
Oh, yes, sir. I appreciate it, man. Oh, right on time. So, Viral Authority, man. Let's chop it up, dog. Can I tell you something? First of all, I want to say thank you, man. I want to say thank you because you know what? On a serious note, I'm paying attention to the bull crap, but I need to be paying to the people that make sense. But some of that stuff get under your skin, dog. You know what I'm saying, Viral? Talk to me.
No, I actually wanted to come and salute you. I've been listening for a while tonight, and this is probably, in my opinion, the most unbiased that I've heard you been. And I don't know, since maybe I've been tuned in. I want to congratulate you on that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, can y'all clap it up for me then? Y'all clap it up for me? Now, Viral, I'm going to stop clapping because I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you one question. You know what that is, right? Since you brought it up, I'm going to ask you just one question. Are you ready?
Uh-huh. I'm ready.
What is it tonight or any other night that makes you feel that I'm biased? I didn't say a hater. I said bias.
So any other night, I think, okay, let me explain this dynamic real quick, and then it'll kind of paint an overall picture.
Nobody can answer. Go ahead.
So I'm gonna answer it, but I'm gonna answer it in an entertaining way for your audience. I think what it is, you do a good job at gaslighting your core audience by propping up actual nutcase commentators of the CU fan base.
Okay.
But so that right there alone kind of maybe to the new listener projects you as someone that may think that you're a CU hater. Like the other caller that said he couldn't really find that you were a hater at the end of his call, but
I think that's probably what you may put off initially. And then when you gaslight, you're gaslighting your core audience of people who follow you, like Jordan, motivated, uneducated, whatever his name
I
is.
think Jordan is
People
new.
like
I've never
that
seen Jordan before, so Jordan is here fired up. And you notice I don't know who Jordan is. I've never seen him before. I didn't acknowledge it because I haven't really seen him. But shout out to Jordan in the building. But go ahead, I'm listening.
maybe that's probably not the best example, but there's other people that follow you that will hone in on people that talk crazy, saying Cam Ward and Shedeur never went head to head, right? So those become the mascot, for, if you will, the CU fan base. When actually, callers like Alexis are more like your average CU fan. Okay, a lot of them didn't follow college football before Coach Prime became head coach of Colorado, and they openly state things like that. So it's no wonder that they'll follow his offspring when they go to the league and things like that. You can't fault a man because his children are successful.
Exactly.
I think that is that's a huge thing that will kind of like make people believe that other schools are just haters because they weren't following Shedeur before he went to Colorado in the same manner that a lot of CU fans weren't. So it's kind of hypocritical, if you ask me.
So here's what I say, Viral. When people call up here, and if you notice, shout out to BP and Juan, and every time, and this is what I was trying to say about my man TLP Sports Club, Harry, the host Harry. Every time someone comes up here and says, they always misquote what I didn't even say those things, but they hear what they want to hear. Remember, these people call in. I don't know who they are. Some members, I have their names stored, but for the most part, I just see phone numbers, right? Because it doesn't tell me like who you are, just says the phone number. So I don't give out the whole phone number. I just like to call the last four so you know who I'm talking to. But anyhow, I'm saying all that to say, Viral, is people call up here and say, well, you said this. That's right. I didn't say that. I never said those things. Now, I'm not even talking about the chat. I'm talking about when somebody calls in and accuse me of saying that I said that Harry. Now, I know that BP kind of backtracked a little bit and said, okay, well, he may have misheard. But if I would have never corrected that, he would have ran with that because that's what he wanted to hear. That's what he assumed. That I said Harry was a super fan. I never said that. I actually was agree. I don't know how long you've been listening to the show. But every time I ask that one question for the past 2.5 years, Viral, nobody's ever answered. I got a shirt that has the same stuff on it. Look at his demeanor. Look at his body language. Nobody's saying anything I said because I do believe that Shedeur Sanders, I do believe that Coach Prime can turn around. Now, I may not agree with everything, but if that makes me a hater, then I will be a hater. If I don't agree with everything that Shedeur Sanders, that Coach Prime does with Colorado, right? And one of the biggest things, I'll just say this, people love to try to, well, you're a Miami fan. That's why, bro, I'm a Miami fan because I'm from the crib, but I'm going to call it down the middle. I think you watch some of my Miami shows. You seen me rip Coach Cristobal. He don't walk on water for me, dog. So.
Right. And I get where you're coming from, but I just think it's equally stupid and just like egregious for people to say things like Colorado is irrelevant. I mean, that's been proven to be a lie. You know what I'm saying? You even agree, but you have people right now in your chat that they disagree and say Colorado is irrelevant, which is beyond me. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but that's the same stupidity on both sides. The underbelly of whatever fan base they're at and the underbelly of CU is they meet on common crazy, talking points. All I say is it's unreasonable for somebody to agree with 100% of what you say. I don't care if y'all are family, you're not going to agree with 100% of everything. The facts are the facts. I mean, it is what it is. Now, when you start bringing numbers up and then we talk about stuff like that, it's in context, because I could say 1 + 1 is 2. You agree. And then somebody said, well, what if this and that? And then all the other variables and stuff. That's when it gets murky. But I just say at the end of the day, you got a quarterback that's black. He comes from a decent home. He's representing low-key every black man in America, because if he turns out to be, let's say if he was a thug, America would say this is the standard for black men. If he's doing good, he's just overly confident. So at the end of the day, you just gotta be yourself. You can't please everybody. You know what I'm saying? So
but hold
I
on,
think,
but hold on, viral. But okay. So
yeah.
we talking. I think we have a legitimate conversation. And here's where if Shedeur Sanders was the Jackie Robinson of football, I guess I could agree with that. I'm not saying that these things don't happen, these things don't occur in the top brass of these organizations. They look at them a certain way. But I think when people, I don't think people truly understand how different the quarterback position outside of the actual play is. I don't believe that people truly understand the mental part. And I'm not talking about Shedeur's mental capacity. I'm just talking about the face, the brand. Like, he is everything to this team. Think about this. I'm going to ask you a question about Joey Flacco was at the Ravens. Why were the Ravens good?
I think
when they won the Super Bowl, why were the Ravens? Why did the Ravens win that season?
They played good team ball. I think Flacco did a good job of QB management, being a manager, as what's the name put it.
And what was that team known for?
What you mean, in general or defensive?
Yeah, you tell me. When you thought about the Baltimore Ravens of that year, what did you think of?
I thought they were pretty decent. They had a good defense.
There you go. Right there. Stop right there. Everybody talked about that Ray Lewis, Air Reed defense, right? T. Suggs. But guess who got the raise that year? Guess who got the big contract that year?
Who that?
Joey Flacco.
Yeah.
That's my point. As much as everybody, look at this. Shout out to Iron Shalo. She says, because of Ray, the 52, the defense, Ron Manuel, Ravens defense. And guess what? And Flacco got the raise. The quarterback position is so different. It is the golden child of every program. I used to tell my quarterback this. My safety intercepted the ball. Here's a perfect example. I'll give you a college comparison too. My safety intercepted the ball for us to win a game. You know who they interviewed first? Me.
Quarterback.
No, me. And then the quarterback. They didn't even interview the dude that picked the ball off. I got a better one. How did Clemson win their last national championship? You remember? The defensive dude picked the ball off from Ohio State in the end zone. You don't remember that?
Okay. I knew it was a defensive play. I didn't know who did it.
No, that's my point. Guess who they interviewed?
Yeah.
Guess who they interviewed? They over to Dabo Sweeney and Sunshine Dog, Trevor Lawrence. Nobody remembers that dude. Nobody remembers the guy.
To your point, let me just say this. Like, the NFL always referred to as a fraternity, right?
I'm
listening. Not to
listening.
get too deep, but what type of things do you think will allow you to be accepted in a fraternity? You have to have a certain look, a certain talk, a certain speech, right?
I'm with you. As I say, I'm picking up what you're putting down. Talk to me.
Right. So like you said, it's the most important position. It's the most highlighted position because of young black man that comes from wealth, not a single parent home, raised by his mom, doesn't have a history of crime. These things actually put more fear in owners than the opposite. They're quick to go into your home, you're a single parent, where no father around, and that coach becomes a father figure. We've seen that before. So
not at the NFL level, dog. At the NFL level, they're not doing home visits, bro. At the NFL level, no, I'm just saying. But to your point, I hear you. But go ahead, finish your point so I can make sure I finish. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
So landing my plane, we haven't seen something to this magnitude from the high school level to college transitioning to the NFL. Coach Prime is probably, I think, the only one that's a Hall of Fame Hall of Fame player transitioning to coach, bringing his sons through those rights. So this is what I'm saying. America ain't really ready for those type of things. Historically, it hasn't occurred. You know what I'm saying? And you can be a hater all you want, but you gotta look at the facts. The fact is, these people are scared, but they know it's going to move the needle every time they drop the name Shedeur, every time they say Coach Prime, every time they say Colorado. So these people talk about Colorado's irrelevant. Shut up, you're an idiot.
Okay, that's fair.
They're irrelevant on the field. How you're irrelevant on the field? They brought all those Hall of Fame coaches and produced a Heisman winner. Shut up.
No, so Viral, to your point, I agree with you. They're not irrelevant. But here's why we'll disagree. You just said now, you said these owners are what? You have to do what when you deal with these people?
You got to walk they walk and talk they talk.
Stop right there. Stop right there. It's a fraternity. And in a fraternity, you have to walk they walk and talk they talk. If you want to be a Q, you want to be a Kappa, you want to be a Sigma. You can't go in there and do what you want to do and say you're going to be a Q, dog. You got to earn your right. You can't go and say you're going to be a Kappa. You can't say, I'm just using those fraternities for example. However, if you know the rules to the game and you don't play the rules to the game and you lose, how can you be mad? So here's my point. I just want to say this and I'm going to be done. If you know, you just told me, Viral, that this is a fraternity in the NFL. They want you to walk, talk, and act a certain way. And you didn't do that. Your camp didn't do that. Your father didn't do that. And you got punished, in essence, right, by being a 5th round versus a 4th round. Should you be mad? I'm just asking the question because if you were the head, Viral, of a fraternity, and you say, Viral authority fraternity, we do things X, Y, and Z. And there's a young man that come in, he's got a great potential. He can add a lot of value to your fraternity, but he doesn't do it Viral authority way. Will you let him in? Will you let him in your club?
Here's your answer. Was slavery eventually abolished? Chattel slavery?
Come on, dog. We finna do that. All right. Yes, it was.
No.
Okay. All right.
Yes, it was. But that's what I'm telling you. There's always room for change in some area. They'll move the cuffs a little bit. They'll make it more comfortable for you. Yes, they will. And to anybody saying it's not a black thing, it obviously is because there's still white owners majority. So don't ever talk to me about race. That's always going to be a dynamic until that changes. But what I'm saying is there's a distinction between the black quarterbacks that were selected and Shedeur. Shedeur's demeanor is more so of an Ali, a groundbreaking, I'm confident in myself, outspoken type of vibe versus a Cam Ward who demonstrates it in other ways. So,
but here's the funny thing. No, but can I say this? Cam Ward is outspoken. He is outspoken. But when he walked into their arena, he played their game. Listen, there are reports of Cam Ward telling Mario Cristobal, we don't finish practice like this. Mario Cristobal, right? I'm just telling you, there are reports of they finished practice on a bad note. Cam Ward stands up and says, hey, coach, we don't finish practice like this. But when he walked into their arena, he had to maybe conform. See, people can get mad and understand it, but we have to always keep in mind that is their companies. We ain't talking about civil rights here, and we ain't talking about public stuff. These are their private institutions. Now, once you get in, you can play the Trojan horse and make change, sneak in through the front door as a gift, and then you make change from within. But as of right this moment, that's the whole problem, bro. So when you say Cam Ward fit a certain narrative, I see Cam Ward being outspoken. I see Cam Ward talking trash. Cam Ward talking ish to damn Shedeur. But they're doing it, they're friends, so I'm not gonna go too far with it. But I'm saying he's not a sit in the corner type dude. Hell, Cam Ward said that he went to every company, to every team, and pushed for Xavier Restrepo. Is that a guy being quiet? No.
But you giving examples of he's vouching for other people. I understand that. I'm not saying that he's a church man. What I'm saying is we're talking about how he conducts himself, about himself, and manages himself. Shedeur has his own team where he does a lot of different things. He doesn't have handlers. He has his own team. And going back to the point of conforming to a fraternity, those type of things, it's like any industry. You could, I don't know if anybody in the chat is in the industry, but you know how you're treated if you have your own team versus, conforming to a management that a company.
I don't know. I think your team hurt you. Being your team.
I don't think so.
When your team comes out and tell these people.
Mayweather had his own team. Money Mayweather, you think he was hurt by having his own team or joining the promoter?
Yeah, but that's a difference. You're not. Mayweather is not vowing for a franchise. Mayweather is not trying to get on to the boxing team. He's a boxer. He like the individual sports are very hard to make this comparison to a team effort. That's when you deal with owners. Now, I think I get where you're going, but the boxing, comparison to NFL is truly an apples to orange argument. I'm just saying that's a total like you got to remember somebody in the NFL got to tell you yes, right? In boxing, you negotiate your own contract and do whatever. So I just want to say that, but go ahead.
Well, in the NFL, you have some of what you will and won't do. As far as contracts, you can hold out.
Who?
If coming in, think about like today with NIL, you have your own brand before you even hit the league. This is unprecedented territory that we're kind of getting into.
Okay.
With Shedeur. And he has a core fan base before he even puts on a jersey.
That's fair.
And this is what I'm saying is that he can be mad, but at the end of the day, you'll realize what it's really all about and who's really pulling the strings once you get to that level. Because we just agreed.
No, right. But Viral, you just told me that there are other players that are doing it their way. I'm asking you who.
I didn't say those other players doing it their way. I said it's unprecedented.
No. Prior to what you just said there are other players doing it their way.
No, I don't know if you heard me.
Okay, maybe I misheard. Maybe I misheard.
He's the only one that's doing it his way. He's outspoken. He visits schools. He does things through his management team.
Come on, dog. You know how many people visit schools? Like, see now, Viral. See, Viral. Right here, that's the problem. That's what the kind of stuff that gets under my skin. When y'all say Shedeur's doing it his way, he's out here visiting schools like he's the only. But it sounds like he's the only one visiting schools. You think he's the only player that's visited schools?
I agree with him. I don't know what you're talking about. But go ahead.
No. You just said that Shedeur's doing his own way. He's out here visiting schools. That makes it seem like he's the only player out here visiting schools, dog.
I never said he was the only one. What I'm saying is that these things are highlighted because he's a brand. If Dillon Gabriel went out and did the same thing, there's no 24 Sports, no ESPN clip going to run that. It is what it is.
To your point. Now that right there, that's a fair statement. That's a fair statement. Meaning, yeah, but what you said was he's doing his own way. He's out here visiting schools.
Yeah.
That makes it sound like nobody else is doing it. But if you say
One
because
bullet,
of his
I
but
didn't
if you
even finish that sentence. That was one bullet. I can list other things that he may be doing that aren't, so much talked about. But at the end of the day, you're always going to have people that hate because they're going to highlight on someone's worst moment and their life is in shambles. You're going to have people that congratulate you and they'll be called bandwagon people because they're positive. And you're just going to have people that are indifferent. My job is to get on the haters. But I do appreciate y'all at the same time, though, because y'all move the needle. Y'all are the ones that drive the algorithm. If there's no hating, then there's nobody that we can talk about. So you are relevant. Haters are relevant in that capacity, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But their own lives are worth a damn at the end of the day.
No, I agree. But here's one thing. One thing is true. Do you believe that Dillon Gabriel has haters?
Of course. Like I said, anybody doing good or better than you or better than someone is going to have a hater. The problem is, Shedeur, he's way bigger of an athlete. He's way bigger of a personality. He's way bigger of a brand. So it's going to be magnified.
And I think that's the beauty of what Prime did, to your point, Viral. I think Prime played that card. He played that hand perfectly. Where I think he misplayed his hand was the step 2 after that, when it came to this draft process. I think what happened, and again, I don't blame Shedeur. I'm talking about your team, and your team does consist of his father, right? That's just part of what it is. I think when Prime went out on this tour, and I ain't mad that Prime said, yeah, my son, they're gonna be picked 1 and 2. That's cool. But when you start talking about what you not gonna do, and we not going to this city, because I know how it worked behind the scene. Now to the owner, to the upper folks, guess what? You've overstepped, sir. Because can I tell you a flip? I'm gonna make a very good comparison.
Yeah.
Did you see the clip when the pro scout came to Colorado?
From New York?
Think he was from Denver. Where he was from? No, he came. Remember, they were going to do their pro day there. I'm sorry, their showcase. The people get mad when I say pro day. Remember, they came and Coach Prime went over to him and said, "Hey, man, y'all just met him. Y'all do what y'all do." You remember that?
Mm-hmm. Missed that. You
missed that? You Viral, stop it. There's nowhere in the world you missed that. As big as that clip went.
I run.
Okay. Well, I apologize. There was a clip of a pro scout when they were getting ready to run the 40 at Colorado inside the indoor practice facility. A professional scout was talking to them about the 40. I don't know all the details in regards about the line and this, that, and the other, but Prime walks over and says, "Hey," and I'll play it for you if you like. He says, "Hey," he says, "Y'all just met him. Y'all do what y'all do."
Said that.
Huh?
Who said that?
Coach Prime walked over to the dude and said that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bringing this up to say that's Coach Prime house. You ain't gonna walk in my house and tell my player what to do. It's equivalent to Coach Prime ain't gonna walk into the NFL and tell the owners what he is and ain't gonna do about drafting. It's the same equivalent, in my opinion. The same way he straightened that pro scout out, who may have been trying to help or he may have been trying to hurt. I don't know. But he walked into Prime's house, which was Colorado, and Prime walked over there and straightened that. It's the same thing when you gonna tell the NFL owner, "Well, my son going, I know how I work behind the curtain." Whoop, whoop, whoop. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, watch this.
I get it. And I don't agree with everything that, like I said earlier, we could be family. I'm not going to agree with 100%. I'm a realist of what you do. It's some moves that Coach Prime made that I don't 100% agree with. And a lot of times it's better to be quiet than to talk so much.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you show your hand and the enemy, you give the enemy a leverage over you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm with you. Some things, you know, they could be handled a lot different and it'll cause less confusion, you know, down the road. And sometimes there's times you got to speak up. And I think he has no problem doing that.
Right.
So it's really, you know, case by case, but
so 100%.
all in all,
Viral, would you mind? Because I'm trying my best. But Shaw, I got a comment here. I'm not sure if you can watch this on your screen or you're just doing it from your phone. But there's a comment. Mr. 64 Production says, but it was okay when Archie Manning did it. And Arch Manning, remember he did that for Eli. Would you care to explain the difference between the Arch Manning and the Deion Sanders situation? Or would you like me to take it? I hope you would do it because I don't want to sound like a hater. I want the CU fan to really tell this Mr. 64 Productions what the difference was in the strategy.
It's your platform. I'm gonna let you do it, but I'll add on afterwards because I'm gonna come from a different angle.
Okay. So Mr. 64 Production, here's the difference. Right? I was trying to be cool, right? I was trying to like not be that guy. But Mr. 64 Production, the difference between Coach Prime and Arch Manning was Coach Prime was announcing this prior to it happening. Right? Arch Manning goes up the day of and says it. At that point, draft boards have been made. This is happening. There's a lot happening that day. The clock is running. You see, there's the difference. When you go out there and project that months in advance or weeks in advance, it's way different, huh? Then when somebody hits you, see the difference when the cards were being played, Arch Manning kept his ace in his sleeve, right? The difference with Coach Prime, he put his ace on his forehead and y'all still playing the game. So now you know how to spin it. See, that's the difference on how they played their hand. So to your point, Mr. 64 Productions, in essence, it was very similar, but not the same. And that's the difference right there, brother. Arch Manning kept his ace under his sleeve and played it at the last second. Coach Prime put his ace on his forehead and played the rest of the game. And y'all know he had the big joker right there, and they found a way to get it out of his hand early. That's the difference. I just want to say that. But you say you like to add on. Well, is that accurate what I said, Viral?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
actions in which took place. Yeah. Also, I mean, just to put it short, we can't do everything they do. It is what it is.
Wow. So you got to conform. You got to conform when you're doing what? When you're walking into their businesses. Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah. Their businesses. You know what I'm saying? And I hope everybody understands like the obvious dynamic that another race of ownership, another race dominantly that are players. You know, so you do the math.
I'll say,
gonna make the rules. Somebody play by.
There you go, bro. And that's all. Like Lexus said a long time ago. He's there. Make the best of it, baby. Go out there and throw these darts at these cats, man. It is what it is.
Hey, real quick. There's a comment, and I don't know who. It's probably a new follower for you. Beloved San Juan.
Oh no, he been around for that dude. Hey, that dude Troll City, dog. No, you gotta take your own advice. Don't listen to it.
Yeah, but see, I gotta do one of your numbers. I gotta highlight.
All right,
and just make that perfect out.
Which one? Which comment?
As long as there's different races of people on Earth, it's going to be about race. I don't care what dynamic it is. It is what it is. There's some things you can't avoid in this world. God made different races for a reason. So if you're in any industry, that is going to happen because it's going to be things that take place that make you scratch your head. It's just going to happen. It is what it is. That's why they have to have laws to enforce against racism. Because by nature,
part of life,
people will try to break the law and impose their will on you.
Yeah.
I don't know how long you've been in America, but that's the way it is. Anyway.
But can I tell you a little secret? That only apply when you're talking about public service stuff. We can talk what we want to talk, but at the end of the day, if I'm an owner of a business, it may not be good public relations for my business. But if I am only one of 32 programs, think about this. If I am only one of 32 programs that everybody wants to see, you know how many people would close a blind eye to that? So you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong, but that's the leverage they have, is that people want to be more entertained than moral values. I'm going to just say this last piece, Viral, real quick. I don't know if you saw on the Breakfast Club when Leor Cohen, who was the head of Def Jam, and Charlamagne asked him, would you rather take issues over talent? Do you remember that? Do you remember that interview?
Issues over talent?
Yeah, you're talking about guys who rap about issues like conscious rappers or talent guys.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, I think I did see that. Yeah.
Okay. And Leo Cohen say, I'm taking talent because I got families to feed. Now, this is a Jewish cat at hip hop that say, I don't care about y'all issues. I got family to feed.
Exactly.
I got a business to run.
The audacity to say that on a
And said it,
platform.
and hold on, and had the nerve to be upset with Charlamagne. Y'all could go Google it, put Leo Cohen Breakfast Club, and had the nerve to get mad with Charlamagne and said, are you not listening? Because they were talking about the opioid crisis. See, these are the things that I'm saying. So to your point, yes, you're right. Those things do play a factor. But at the end of the day, if they hold the leverage, it doesn't matter. Now, when you're dealing with public sector, right? Then you more have the law on your side. Yeah, you can go into Better Business Bureau and equal opportunity employee. But at the end of the day, if I'm only one of 32 programs, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Let me ask you. I know this is a real reach, but just follow me. If there are only 5 grocery stores in the world, and all 5 of the people, like the CEOs and owners and all that, donate to some racist foundation, are you not going to their grocery store?
If I'm in an area where I'm fully dependent.
No. You're living the life you're living right now. You gonna that's my point, bro. That's what we fight.
I live in the South. Listen, hold on. Now, if I'm living the life I'm living right now, I got access to food. I got access to raw food.
Viral.
But I will say, what?
No, I'm saying that's you.
I mean,
but it's
that's what I'm saying. You actually need that.
Okay.
I'm gonna do my best to not though. But at the end, I'm not stupid. I'm not gonna die.
There you go.
But that's the thing. Listen, a lot of these with talent, they don't have to die to make a point. They just gotta do something else, get a job. You know what I'm saying? If I'm a rapper and I walk into Leo Cohen's office and I say, I want a contract, and he says, okay, well, I need you to rap about drugs. I need you to rap about killing yourself. And I say, nah, I don't like that. He said, okay, go down the street. And I go to Koch, and they tell me the same thing. Those 5 record companies tell me the same thing. Do you think I'm not going to rap anymore, or am I going to start my own thing?
I hear you. No, listen. Yeah, but to your point, and I love it. But, sir, you are one of few. You want to know why? Because if it was more of you than less of you, changes would be made a long time ago, brother. That's the same reason Sexy Red out here talking about her butthole brown and her woo-ha pink. I'm just calling a spade here, dog.
No, you're right, though.
No, I'm just calling, and that's what's getting. Let me ask you this. So Viral Authority, you out here rapping and you got some great rhymes, but ain't nobody gonna ever hear it. Why? Because they finna make sure that Sexy Red playing on the radio and her woo-ha red brown and her pink, and they gonna make sure they drown you out because they are the juggernaut. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, bro.
You're right. Now look at it in terms of football.
Okay.
Somebody that's coming into the industry, the football industry, trying to do it their way, and they keep bumping their head. Eventually, what? He's gonna get forced out. So I'm a realist. There's a chance Shedeur may not play. It's still a chance. I don't know. It's political. We know he can play.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, like it goes back to what I said, it's a fraternity. They want who they want. I'm just proud the brother made it. That's all I can really say. You know, people can talk about numbers and all that. Man, fuck all that. See my language.
Listen, I get it, man.
I'm glad to see another brother make it. And yeah, I'm gonna make it about race because that's what I see first.
Well,
but I do see character as well.
I feel no.
A
Listen,
Chinese man set up shop in your neighborhood, black man. He gonna see Chinese first, and he gonna see that money. Then he gonna see your black behind that counter. So don't tell me nothing different. I'm gonna close with that.
All right, I'll say this last piece, and I'm gonna be up out of here. Y'all ready? Here's a perfect example. Here's a perfect example, brother. Here's a perfect example. People can get mad with the Colin Kaepernick thing because you brought this up, so we're gonna have a conversation. Do you think Colin Kaepernick at the time, I'm not saying now, but at that time, you think he still could play quarterback in the league?
At the time, could he play quarterback? Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Here's what I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
Would you be shocked if I told you that, because we talk about what if you want to do things your way, it don't work that way. Now, I'm not making a comparison of what Shedeur did to Colin Kaepernick. We're just talking about people doing things their way.
Yeah.
You know who Tim Boyle is?
Tim Boyle?
Tim Boyle.
No, who's that?
Okay. If I tell you this, bro, you're going to be amazed. Tim Boyle is in the NFL.
Hey.
Huh?
He a QB?
A quarterback. Plays at the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, yeah.
Tim Boyle has been in the league since 2018.
Uh-huh.
In college, listen to this. He threw 12 touchdowns and 26 interceptions. Listen to what I'm about to tell you now. 12 touchdowns and 26 interceptions over his college career. Only 12 touchdowns.
Uh-huh.
Okay. In his college career, he was 4-15. In his 5 years of college, he has only played in 19 football games. 19 football games in 5 years of college. He has been in the NFL since 2018. Since 2018. He's only played in 5 football games. He started 5 football games since 2018 to 2024. You know what his record is as a starter?
Did he even start?
Yeah, 5 games. He started 5 games since 2018.
Probably won 1 game. If that, I don't know.
0-5.
Yep. Okay. That was my next guess.
0-5. Excuse me, we're still not finished. You know his touchdown to interception ratio in the NFL?
0.
5 touchdowns, 13 interceptions.
That's crazy.
And he's still on a team. Why? Because he ain't a problem. He ain't
boy.
But you gonna tell me that a broke, you gonna tell me Cam Ward can't do better than this? I mean Cam Newton? You gonna tell me that Colin Kaepernick can't do better than this today? But you know why?
With a straight face.
Because he's a problem.
They'll tell you with a straight face. And think about this. What exactly is the problem?
There is none. It's the perception, bro. That's what I was telling you. Hold on, excuse me. I just want to say this last thing. I just want to say this last thing. Can I tell you this?
Yeah.
You ready?
What's up?
He got a 1-year deal with the Tennessee Titans for $1.2 million. How much Shedeur making?
Wow.
How much Shedeur make this year?
He checked the check, ain't he?
No, I'm saying he got a contract. I'm saying,
what?
how much you think should somebody put in the chat? How much y'all think should do me? I'm just talking, dog. The NFL is the craziest thing in the world. This dude is 5-13 in interceptions, been in the league 8 years, and they paying him $1.2 million. $1.2 million, dog.
Hold it down. Ain't selling jersey. Ain't he now? Beloved Sandworm. This is your irrelevant person right here. Since you like throw that word around, this is who's irrelevant. Coach T. This is who's irrelevant. Jordan. This is who's irrelevant. I'm listing all y'all haters. But
Shiloh said 1.4 million. Is that? But how many years is that? Is that this year? But you're talking about this dude is in cash, 2025 cash, $1.255 million. And his interception ratio is 5-13.
Yeah.
And he's played for Green Bay. He played for Green Bay, Detroit, Chicago, New York Jets, Miami, and the Jets, and the Giants. Bro, the NFL is like shout out to Lexus, man. She said it best. Man, he made a team. He got drafted. It's his opportunity. Do your thing, brother. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
That's all I can tell you is do your thing, dog.
That's all you can do.
That's it, bro. That's it. But man, let me get up out of here. I said 2 hours. I said 1.5 hours. I'm at 3, so I done doubled my time, man. But I love it, man. Mr. 64, I apologize. I couldn't open the lines. Like you said, Shedeur making $750,000. And this dude making 1.2 with a 5 touchdown to 13 interception ratio, bro. He damn near doubling your salary, bro. The NFL, bro, when I tell you the NFL is the most unpredictable, you like, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Hey, man,
bro.
shout out to all the CU fans. Shout out to everybody doing something. If you ain't got no hater, you ain't doing nothing.
I got it. He said,
Coach
man,
Hayes,
take another call. I
shout out to your
can't,
show,
bro. Appreciate you, Viral, man. I know you
Appreciate
always
you.
be in the chat, man. Appreciate you. And I knew we would have a great conversation here, but I thank you, man, for real, for real.
Oh, yeah, man. I'm going to give me a podcast going, man. I'm going to come on and join your show or something, man.
Let's do it, man. Shit, let's do it. I'm ready, man. Let's make it rock. I love it, man.
All right, bro.
For sure.
Yeah.
Mr. 64, I can't, man. I can't. I know I got one dude back here. Watch this.
Hey, you keep on rubbing on that eyebrow. Why you keep doing that with your unbiased ass? Boy, I'm telling you, you stand to lose. And you gonna do it on your show too. And they go announce who the quarterback gonna be way before the first game Cleveland gonna play. I'm telling you, it looks like it's gonna be Shedeur, dear. I'm telling
you. Charlotte, what we gonna do, man? What we gonna do? One day you gonna call in this show, stop playing. Man, old school be in the back. I'm telling you, he like the furniture, dog. Like that dude, he like the dishwasher at the restaurant. You don't even know he back there. But he working hard. He working hard. He been on the show. Look, we've been on here 3 hours and 13 minutes. Y'all ready? One more time. Action.
you, you just worry about that right eyebrow. Just keep rubbing it. Idiot. Hey, and I don't hate you. Stop.
Man, shut up, man. I don't care about what you talk about, man. Shut up, man. We'll get you a toothbrush, man. Anyway, listen, much love to y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. It's been super fun. I was off last week. We back. I'll say this. Shout out to all of the rookies who made it, man. Shout out to Shedeur. Shout out to Dillon Gabriel. Shout out to everybody, man. For real, bro. They beat the odds. They made it there. In the words of Trick Daddy, let's face it, everybody ain't gonna make it. And that's just what it is. You know what I mean? Some guys are just not gonna make it. And but guess what? Y'all went further than probably 99.9% of the people here listening. And that's what it's all about, man. But I wish those guys the best, man. Like I say, you just get on here and I guess the piece in me, I look at it in a different lens than most. I'm not a put the cart before the horse guy, because here's what I'll just say at the very end before I leave. People can come on here and make 1,000 assumptions. And if it doesn't work out, they'll just be quiet. But if it does work out, guess what? You don't remember Coach Hayes? I called in your show and said we was going 12-0. But if they don't go 12-0, then guess what? You won't say nothing. That's okay. All right. But when people come with outlandish stuff, it's hard for me to let it go. Like, where do y'all, like, it's hard. And I got to work on myself. I need therapy. And I got to work on myself. And viral authority was 100% right. But sometimes, dog, you got to take the low-hanging fruit, bro. Sometimes you got to take the low-hanging fruit. Because some people just say stupid stuff. You be like, nah, you can't. How you going to argue me that 2 + 2 is not 4? Shout out to my man Tiger. It's like the dude talking about Cam Ward and Shedeur didn't play against each other. That's low-hanging fruit. Sometimes, huh? The lion don't go get the fastest gazelle. You get the one in the back. Huh? You know the old saying in the jungle? The gazelle wakes up and says, I got to be faster than the fastest lion. The lion wakes up and says, I got to be faster than the slowest gazelle. The lion in the jungle ain't like he at the grocery store. He run next to, well, I don't like the size of that gazelle. Let me go to the next one. Nah, a little bit. Nah. He'll get the slowest one that's back there limping. Sometimes you got to make that happen. Anyway, faith, family, and football. All right. Hey, Coach, hey, you've been in here a long time. Shedeur is beloved like a little brother in the community. And you know you can't, nobody mess with our little brother but us. At the same time, the mindset creates bias. That's true. And that's, to your point, sir, that's what I'm saying. When people engulf their days and their lives in well-off media and they watch that, subconsciously, you do create this exact scenario right here. You do. And you don't want to hear nothing or see anything else. You don't believe nobody else has gone through what he's gone through. And I think that's where me and other people clash heads, because you see it all the time. Imagine if Shedeur Sanders won 2 national championships and a Heisman Trophy and win in the 7th round. Y'all would lose y'all mind. Ask Gino Toretta. Think about it. 2 national championships and a Heisman Trophy and go in the 7th round. Y'all would lose y'all ever loving minds. Anyway, I appreciate y'all. Much love, everybody in the building, man. Man, say goodnight, old school. And I mean right now, say goodnight.
Hey, you know it's good. Shedeur went 144. You remember the 144,000? Yeah, Lotto say.
Man, say goodnight, man. Nobody will hear that fooling, man. Get out of here, man. Anyway, I appreciate y'all. Much love to y'all, man. And with all that being said, we'll definitely holler at you, man. Check out the WREs that's coming out. Hey, Shedeur Morgan. Boy, if Colorado gets Shedeur Morgan and Jake Cruel, go check out the Jake Cruel tape. He did a visit to Colorado. Shedeur Morgan just did his visit. I've already done the WREs, the breakdowns. All you gotta do is type in their name and put Hayes behind it. It'll pop right up. Ooh-wee. 2 dudes could play. We might have a special one for you next week. We'll see. We're working on it, man. So with all that being said, appreciate y'all. Much love. Thank y'all in the building. Everybody that support. We out of here. Peace. Oh, well. It is what it is, man. This dude's still in the back. Look at this.
Good night, everybody. Good night, young man. Have a good night.
That's what I thought. Say good night. That crap out of here, man. Peace.